Loshak at. The bottle's getting empty, I'm not cracking, we stacking. Chips, all of this, what I want, plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone, I prefer elevated pump sports radio. Time to get educated, who can produce, play the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call it truth. They get slaughtered, can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a lethal weapon, cause we lead. Oh yeah, pubbing. We be pubbing!
Yo, what's up? Oh, shit. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Pub Sports Radio. I'm Peter Loshak. He's Jimmy the Bag. We do this every Tuesday. I don't know. This is supposed to be the slow season, Jimmy the Bag. I think because I'm starting to look into player props and stuff. It's I'm getting busy. I'm behind. I'm a little bit late. Sorry, we're a little bit late. I think it's going to be a good show. You know, I had a run of 4 awesome shows right after San Antonio, very similar to Metallica's first 4 records, just flat out awesome. And then the 5th one, a little bit like the Little Bit Black album-y, a little bit not so great, not so great last week. We're still doing well overall with your shows, Jimmy, and of course we're having fun every time out. And I think we're gonna have a good show today. Although it's gonna be interesting, NHL playoffs. I love it. I love it even more than your average sports betting event. Strikeout props I'm looking into. I don't know. Things are going well for me. How you doing, Jimmy the Bag?
It's been a rough few days.
Has it?
For me? Yeah. The Derby Day did not go well. And I got smashed up with the Nuggets yesterday badly. I thought, which was, again, I needed to wait. I thought Gobert was still going to show up when it was confirmed that he wasn't going to be there. Like Brandon Carlo, he's there. His child's born. He hops on a plane immediately, gets to the game. But whatever. When I realized they were down a player, I thought, oh, no. And I could have bought out of it, about an hour and a half, 2 hours before. But it was bad. It was bad. Now, the Operation Garcia destroyed and was excellent in that game, but still... left took a lot of the profits out. So I'm a little frustrated. I'm ready to rock and roll. Great to see all you guys in the chat. Billy Friedrich, Pig Milk play of the day, Carolina, New York Rangers under 5.5. And he says, hope you cashed my UFC parlay on Saturday. Pig Milk play today now 21-14 plus 8.91 units. I thought about betting that under. And at this point, I just can't trust Freddie Anderson. And I know we're going to talk about that, but that's a great lead in to our first game. I do want to copy and paste a little more before we take that next step into the action ahead of us. Jose coming off of board sweepage. That's very, very, very important. So excellent job, Jose. That was basically his first bad day of the year, and he bounces back with board sweepage. So I love to see that. Tori Coker says Nuggets, Panthers on my hell no list. Killed my tickets. Well, the Panthers is the same thing we see every second round, third round. The team that's in playoff mode beats the team that's been off for a week. Now, we'll see if that plays a role in the Mavericks Thunder game. It's the only reason why I'm not on the Thunder. And it's why I'm on Dallas in tonight's hockey game against the Avalanche. I just feel like the Avalanche have been off for too long. Dallas is in win now mode. Now, it's easy for me to say win now mode. It's easy for me to stay off the Panthers. The other thing, if you actually bet the Bruins, I know Dennis Garcia bet the Bruins. And shout out to Dennis Garcia for taking Mystic Dan in the Derby, tweeting out.
Did he? Wow.
And tweeted it out as his pick, the great Dennis Garcia. J-Dub, Oldie, the Dapper Capper, Gerald Jones, JP Taylor, J Smooth Balls play today is in its Cubs team total over 4.5. And minus 115. We do have new things on our website that we're really excited about. Our guy Swiggy now has a bunch of the cappers that we work with tracked, every single bet tracked that they tweet out. And you can see everything tracked. You can see sports. You can see it all on our website. You just have to hit account. And it's pretty exciting. So I'm going to be not only copying and pasting the action here from Cappers in our chat for us to talk about on the show, but I'm also going to send it to Swiggy as we're going to build on that. We want more of you guys listed up with your action. Only if you want to, obviously. Bo Jackson in the house. Dave Redling says Nuggets are now toast. No way the Wolves lose 4 games. I don't care about the series. I just care about the individual games. I am on the Nuggets +5. I bet that. I can't even tell you last 12 hours, 16 hours have been such a blur, but I have bet the +5. I got it at bet 365, now 4.5. And I'm interested in investing more into the Nuggets in game 3. I know there was an abomination in game 2, and Jamal Murray looked completely messed up. I mean, clearly the Wolves are just in his head. The refs are in his head. Everything's in his head. He did not look like an NBA champion last night. I'm going to keep copying, pasting action here so that we have everybody's glory. Bo Jackson coming off a $1,500 night. Taxi under 7.5. Giants, Phillies, Rangers money line under 209.5. And T-Wolves, Nuggets, Dodgers money line, and Mets money line. Love to see it. Bo. Billy Friedrich is betting the Nuggets series price half unit at +560. And David Redling says Thunder massacre the Mavs tonight. Again, it's the same reason why so many people were on the Panthers last night. And maybe they do. Maybe you've nailed it, David. But I have to stay off the Thunder as much as I want to bet them. Stacks play today. Celtics team total over 109.5. I'm going to keep copying and pasting. Peter, if you could give a what's up to the cappers in the chat while I do this copy and paste before we get started, that would be.
That's what I live for, Jimmy the Bag. What's up to everyone? Yeah, we're gonna try to do our best here. I think that, I can't wait to talk about, you usually think the playoffs are low scoring, but obviously when a team like the Avs are involved, that is totally in the opposite direction. Wondering if that's going to happen here, and is Dallas going to be able to come out with some kind of game plan to slow them down? And maybe if they had a week, they would, but with only 2 days, maybe they don't. I don't know. I can't wait to talk about it. Jimmy the Bag is going to have some great insight. So everyone, that's what I'm thinking about, because of course, I love to bet these player props now, Jimmy the Bag. And of course, the way the game goes is the most important, more difficult to quantify factor when analyzing player props in general. So anyone who took the Avs player props in the Pub Sports Radio NHL contest was killing it and correct. So it's gonna be great. Lucas R saying, "Damn, Pete got the Versace sweater on today." No, this is Marc Jacobs actually. Retail price about $600, so it's no big deal. But this is Marc Jacobs. Listen, the raccoon coat did great, and I might bring it back later. I just, I was off my game last show. Overall, did absolutely phenomenal in 5 shows with it. Very happy about it. And now we're wearing a little Marc Jacobs retail price, suggested retail price just under $600. And we'll see how this goes. If I have another shitty day today, then probably we will not be back with it next show. But we'll see. I'm positive. I think it's going to be a nice show. Shout out to Lucas R. Hell yeah. Leonard Porsche Jr. We ready to go, Jimmy the Bag?
I am ready to go. Shout out to Marc Jacobs as well. No biggie. Let's get to work here, Mr. Loshak. We have a big NHL, 2 NHL games, enormous games, 2 NBA games, enormous games. And then we have the entire MLB card, which Jose Bouquett will be rolling with us. Mike Wilkerson hit a parlay, Harper and Ohtani Jacks yesterday. I'd love to see it. Time to get to work. Again, if you want action here, and Newkirker had the Bruins at +140. Yeah, the boy Nukie, smart, just smart. And it's it's the reason why I'm on the Stars here this evening. But let's get into our first game. I've been copying and pasting action here in the chat, and the best way I think for us to roll into it, Peter, is our friend Joseph Thompson. He is on first period overs here. Take it away for Hurricanes Rangers. We've also heard from our guy Billy Friedrich on the under 5.5. Let's set this one up and let's attack my dude Gifted Cartel, Brandon Cummings. Let's get to work.
All right. Well, let's talk this one out. Obviously, I haven't checked what the line is right now, but in game 1, the Rangers were a dog, despite being the President's Trophy winner, and they certainly opened. They certainly opened as a dog. Let's check right now to see where they are right now. Let me give a quick glance. Whoa, they're an even slightly bigger dog, +107 for the Rangers. Total is 5.5, leaning under. And I don't know. I understand. I mean, I know people all season long were saying Carolina best team in the NHL, blah blah blah. Woo. And they know better than I do, but something just didn't smell right with it. And I don't think the Rangers should be a dog here. They put up a bunch of points in their last game. They put up points all playoffs long. And so, I would take the Rangers if I had a free play on the money line right now before hearing what you have to say about it. But even more so, I could see the Carolina winning this one 4-3 or something. I'm thinking Rangers team total over. Is Carolina going to be able to hold these guys down? I mean, the Rangers have a lot of legit weapons. They're at home. What's going on here? Rangers team total over. Why is that not a decent bet?
The line is absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. It's so hard to give your game script with this because we finally got to that point that we were talking about throughout the first 55, 60 games of the year where we were questioning Carolina's goaltending.
Right.
Also, Gensel's not been playing very well. So is that called a blouse? What you're wearing, Peter?
Ooh, this?
What you're wearing, is that a blouse?
I don't know what the fuck it is, but looking in the mirror, I start to realize more and more. I think this might be a women's garment. I'm not sure, but I think it's going to be lucky. I don't really give a shit. I mean, if it brings winners, I'll fucking wear anything, head to toe.
Sure.
Head to toe women's clothing.
Well, are there shoulder pads?
I don't really know. I think it looks good. It feels good.
No, it does.
And if it's lucky, we're going to keep wearing it. And if it is unlucky, of course, we're going to ditch it real fucking fast.
Okay.
But I think it is going to be lucky. What do I know, Jimmy the Bag? You know what I'm saying?
Rem has called it a zebra blouse, and
it's zebra-esque. It's Marc Jacobs.
He thinks that's Afghani silk. Is that Afghani silk?
It could be. It could. I don't know. Afghani silk. This is suggested retail price $595 or $598 or something. So I think Afghani silk would be a little pricier than that. But I'm happy.
Who is suggesting that? By the way,
who's suggesting what?
The price there. Who's making that suggestion?
Just a bunch of people in the background being like, how much can we get these fucking morons to fork over? How many days and weeks pay can we get them to pay us for this bullshit? Let's go for $598.
Freddie Anderson is a question mark all of a sudden. He's always been mentally unstable is probably not the right term, but he had every opportunity to shine throughout his NHL career, and he's always let his teams down in the most important situations. And it seems like that's happening here. And it's only one game. And one of the cappers who's called him out, throughout, our guy Billy Friedrich, is on the under 5.5. I would expect it. After watching Freddie and knowing that he's going right back into Madison Square Garden, I can't get to that under. I just don't feel like I have enough confidence in Freddie's bounce back. 2.54 goals against average, .899 save percentage in the playoffs. It's just not good enough. The Carolina Hurricanes open up at -120. That tells me that the books are almost certain that Carolina is going to win game 2 in Madison Square. I mean, it's just when lines come out like this, when they're just begging you and begging the public, and I'm sure they're going to get it. And, why don't we check out where the cash is? Because I'm sure it's very difficult for people to stay off of the Rangers at +106 or +107.
Jim,
and it should be.
The Rangers were a dog in game 1. Was that not the books begging you to bet the Rangers then?
I think it was, but even this is this. Let's just go back to the closing line here on game 1. Let's get over.
No, they were a dog. I mean, a tiny dog, but they were a dog.
The closing line +1. Well, +101 at Pinnacle, -105 at Bodog Beckrest, but they were a dog. -105 at Will Hill. I mean, this is it's wild to me. It's absolutely wild that this would be the number, and I just I don't really feel comfortable in the spot at all. Let's just see where the cash is, which is something we don't usually do, but it is a money line spot. So 67% of the tickets, 71% are winning game 1. It's just wild to me. 55% of the tickets, 57% of cash on the over here. Shesterkin, 5-0 in the playoffs, .921 save percentage, playing very, very well. The power play for the Rangers in the playoffs, 44.4. The penalty killing, 90.9. Now, I cashed with the Jets in game 1 of the Jets Avalanche series and then lost twice backing them. But the one thing we talked about, and I hate bringing it up because I didn't follow through. It's one thing to say something, another thing to follow through with it, was we talked about the Jets special teams going to let them down in the playoffs? They were just not strong enough. They weren't strong special teams. We see the teams with the best special teams leading the way. And the Rangers right now with a 44.4% power play, 90.9% penalty killing. I mean, it's absolutely spectacular. They win 4-3 on Sunday, game 1. That's their 7th straight victory, including the regular season. Mika Zibanejad, I can't believe I picked Fox over Zibanejad. It's just eating at me in the playoff pool because I only was going to use 2 Rangers. 11-game point streak, including the regular season right now. Roslovic, point streak to 6 games. Panarin scored as well. And Trocheck looks spectacular. Chris Kreider doing exactly what he does, going into the dirty areas in front of the net. Shesterkin, now the 3rd goalie in franchise history to open a postseason with 5 straight wins. That's Mike Richter in 1994. They won the cup in that year. And Dave Kerr in 1937, a goaltender that I didn't know anything about. I had to look up in Hockey DB, Dave Kerr. Dave Kerr, he was the guy who was the goaltender for the Rangers that won the Stanley Cup before that big win in 94. I think they were a 54. I think it was 1939. But it was 1937 that Dave Kerr had that 5 straight wins. So Shesty's rolling. And the Hurricanes are getting production. I know that they're dealing with injuries to their defense, but Slavin has stepped up. Nate's playing great. Seth Jarvis is being a monster. But the Hurricanes have the 2nd best power play in the NHL. During the regular season, they went 0 for 5. They only had 5 shots on goal. The Rangers went 2 for 2 on the power play, and those 2 goals took them 23 seconds. How do you get in the way of the New York Rangers, I ask you? I don't know. And how do you say that it makes sense to bet the Rangers when the books are putting them at this point of a dog? I don't know. How do you bet the under when, I think this will have a zigzag type effect. I think this will get tight checking and slow scoring if you can't trust Freddie Anderson. Again, my answer is I don't know. And if I'm going to give you all those I don't knows, I can't bet this hockey game.
So you think that Carolina is going to be like, all right, we might lose this game, but if we do, it's going to be 1-0 or 2-1.
No, I think Brendan Moore is going to. This is just a different Hurricane team than I'm used to because it has so much firepower. We've been in the playoffs with this team in the past, and I mean, it's not even Gensel to me. It's Jarvis maturing into a star. It's all they've got so much talent. We had a whole playoffs where Svechnikov was hurt, right? I mean, it's just and Lucky Lefty saying. I love hearing that, Lucky Lefty. I absolutely love hearing that. So, I love capping hockey with you guys. So I can't give you an angle that I'm going to bet. If I was given a free play, I take the under 5.5 with Billy Friedrich, but look, this isn't about giving out picks or plays. It's about succeeding and Steve G says Rangers have cashed 5 straight for him, not dropping out. Now, look, if you've cashed 5 straight with the Rangers, then I understand why you would go right back to the well. I'm off this spot, Pete. I'm moving on the next game. I'm hammering the Panthers in game 2. I look very closely at the Panthers to win the series. We can talk a lot about that tomorrow as well, but I just can't get to.
All right, I didn't have time to price out everything, but Alex Lafreniere to get an assist at plus 250. I mean, he got one last game. He got one in 3 out of 4 of the Washington games. I just don't want to get trapped by a game that's going to wind up being like 1-1 and go to OT. But God, that looks like a juicy line, doesn't it? He's great, Lafreniere.
God, overtime, I guess. Maybe you've started to talk me into, but even then, I can't trust. I cannot make a bet if I can't trust the goaltending. And look, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that it doesn't make for great content. But look, no. I'm not. I'm trying my hardest to win for you guys. That's all I want to do is win for you guys. All I want to do is win for my family. All I want to do is win for my bankroll. And I just don't feel like there's an edge here.
No, I hear you, Jimmy the Bag. Gosh, geez, Lafreniere assist. That just looks so good, Jim. All right, I will. Even though I didn't do my full shit with it, I'll chuck that one on. Lafreniere assist at plus 250. All right, if it loses, it loses. They got me. Alexis Lafreniere assist that's a current line at Bet Online plus 250. I mean that's a line. That's a line and a half, isn't it, Jim?
All of those player props for the Rangers are going to be fishy. They're a plus 107 home dog after winning 7 straight games, sweeping the first round. I mean, it's messed up. Son Dizzle in the house. What up, Dizzle?
Oh, shit, Son Dizzle. Son Dizzle's in the house.
Johnny Gunn says, "Did Pete get a new mic? He sounds amazing."
Yeah, how's the audio? Son Dizzle, check it out. Mark Jacobs. What? Mark Jacobs, and I wear it well. Yeah, is the mic too loud or too? Is good? It's good.
No, it sounds good, my man. It
All
sounds
right,
good. All right, let's let's roll. I'm ready for game 2, and I can't fire on game 1.
Okay, God, I want to price out some of these player props. So maybe I'll do it during the rest of the show and chuck them out. All right, let's move on to Colorado, Dallas. Right, you ready?
And Nate Dogg supporting that prop there. Yes, let's go on to Colorado, Dallas.
All right, so obviously, right, as you said, Colorado beat Winnipeg in 5, rolled them. I did not see that coming, but that's cool because I turned on a dime and started to realize what was going on. And I did bet overs and player prop overs and everything. And Dallas needed 7 to beat Vegas. That was a series that I stayed off of because Vegas was like banged up and then they got Eichel back. So you didn't exactly know what was going to happen with Vegas. So I kind of stayed off that one. In general, Dallas is a team that I have had a pretty good read on. I was betting Jamie Benn props, as you know, Jimmy the Bag, points and this and that, and assists and goals, whatever, doing well with it. So Dallas is a pretty deep team. There's a bunch of props that I do like in this one, but as you said, the situation here is that the Avs, great depth, off a lot of rest. Dallas off of just one day of rest in a tough series. So you got to think Colorado as a road dog rolls. But as you said, I guess you wouldn't think that with professional athletes that would happen, that in the playoffs they would get their mind would get taken elsewhere. But maybe it does, even with the best of teams. And I guess my other question is just Dallas kind of reminds me a little bit of Winnipeg, a team with an excellent goalie and sort of a deep roster that should be maybe a little bit better than it actually winds up being. So I'm wondering if we don't see a very similar series to this one, and at the very least, a high scoring series, because Dallas put a lot of shots on goal in the regular season. Colorado, I think, is going to probably try to win with offense. I don't know if Dallas is going to be able to shut them down. What do you think, Jim? I'm leaning Colorado team total over at least, and I'm leaning a bunch of player prop overs. Definitely, I'm going to take Wood over 1.5 shots once again. If it loses, that means I'll only be up 8 units betting his shot props over. So I'm going to take it again here, and I don't know. I'm thinking Colorado team total over. I'm thinking leaning over, and got to be leaning Colorado as a dog.
We just saw this happen in Florida, Boston.
Yeah, but
when Steve G says Avs are fully rested, will it hurt them or help them? It's that silly, both. It's going to help them in the series. It's going to hurt them in game 1. The Panthers for the series is something I'm still debating, and at plus 100 or more, I'm very interested in it. And I would be interested in backing the Avalanche if they lose game 1. This is just the Dallas Stars just knocked out a very, very good hockey team. And we talked about them being beaten up or something like that. It doesn't feel like they got too injured in that one. It doesn't feel like they got too beaten up. And also, maybe that Vegas team wasn't as tough as Vegas teams we've seen in the past. Maybe they were more offensive, but maybe they weren't quite as tough. Saying that, how can the Avalanche be locked in? I mean, so...
Another thing, Jim, one thing. First of all, I'm not sure I would put, except for goaltending, I would not put Florida as quite as powerful, offensively as the Avs. But also, I think it probably does matter. Florida was at home, so they're like, all right, we got the advantage here anyway. This is going to be a road game for the Avs, That probably matters.
I think that's an interesting point. I do, and I think that makes sense. I think it makes sense that, Colorado would be more locked in. I had a chance to get this at minus 116 and I missed it. I had a chance this morning and I was like, I just missed it. It was very, very frustrating. I got it minus 125. I would like to, I'm very interested in Colorado in this series. I would like to get a nice big plus number. I think that you should get one against this Dallas team. You should be a plus. And I just don't see how they could be ready to rock. This total went from 6 to 6.5, which makes me think, honestly, Pete, is the opposite. It'd be the Avalanche team total under I would be looking at right now. I just, Ottinger has a .925 save percentage and a 1.95 goals against average. We're seeing the same thing from Ottinger as we're seeing from Shesterkin. Regular, or for Ottinger, below average regular season, and now he's firing. We're seeing the Stars, 28.6% power play. Now the Avalanche, 37.5% power play. The Stars penalty killing is going to be tested. For this total, as I said, it's up to 6.5 now, -110 to the under. It was actually juiced to the over a second ago. If these games go over, Dallas will lose.
Yeah, right.
And DeBoer knows that. This opened up -128, now -124. So the Stars come in battle tested. They beat the defending champion Vegas Knights in 7 games. DeBoer, by the way, is 8-0 in Game 7s in his career. I mean, Jesus.
But I mean, you're talking about Dallas goaltender, but Hellebuck is same deal, right? Supposedly awesome. They lit him up.
Yeah, they lit him up. But Hellebuck has never proven anything in the playoffs before, ever. And Ottinger has.
Mm-hmm.
Hellebuck has never been George Vezina in the playoffs. And Ottinger has. So I think that you can put a line through that there. Then you talk about what the Stars did down 2-0 going into Vegas, and they came back. And you know that no team was never more than 2 goals up at any point in the series. This is a team that's just completely battle tested. The Avs have been off since Tuesday. I just don't see how they turn it on again. They handled it well during the 2022 Stanley Cup run. They had a break of more than a week before the first and second rounds, and they had it again before the final when they knocked off Tampa in 6. Now, I mean, all they don't have is Gabriel Landeskog, who is absolutely fundamental in the success of the franchise. But I think the fact that the Stars are in playoff mode, just like the Bruins were last night, is beneficial to the Stars. The Avs looked incredible in Series 1. 28 goals in 5 games. Yes, Winnipeg had allowed 2.41 goals a game, but right now, Winnipeg has never proven ever in the history of their franchise that they can lock in and deliver when the games are the most important. In the history of their franchise. And who can? Dallas and Ottinger. And what Dallas just did, I think, was spectacular. Now, look, this team is rolling. Nichushkin, 7 goals. Colorado had 12 different players score. Nichushkin and Lehkonen are the first teammates in NHL history with 5-game goal streaks to open the postseason. And only 3 other teams have opened the playoffs with at least 5 goals in each of their first 5 games. And the last team to do that was the Stanley Cup winning New York Rangers 1994, who we've already talked about. But Dallas can score too. They had 8 20-goal scorers in the regular season. They were 3rd in the NHL at 3.59 goals per game. The Avs had 3.68. Yes, Pavelski didn't score a point, only 6 shots, but he's going to have 2 deflection goals in the series in front of the net in the power play. Ottinger allowed more than 2 goals once over the last 11 regular season games. So it's not just him turning it on the playoffs. He was rounding into form. And, when was the last time that he allowed more than 2 goals? It was a 7-4 win at Colorado. So he's allowed 14 goals in 3 regular season appearances against the Avs, if you wanted to talk about that. But here, I think the fact that Dallas has Ottinger and Colorado's Georgiev is going to give the Stars an advantage. Yes, the Avalanche offense is elite. So, look, I'm on Dallas in Game 1. I'll have interest in Colorado in the series. I'll have interest, but what Dallas did was unbelievably impressive. Now you could say, look, what Colorado did was unbelievably impressive. Yes, but it's very different. It's very, very different. And they're both very impressive. Look, it's a great series. It's a great series, and I'm here on the Dallas Stars in Game 1 with confidence.
So you think that that the Dallas goaltender makes a significant difference?
Makes a big difference here.
It did big difference.
And the Avalanche team total, I mean, it's a tricky thing here. You'd have to build the under 3. I mean, that's just very, very scary to do that against this Avalanche squad with the way they're rolling. But I think that makes sense to me. I don't know if I have the balls to go there. I think it took some balls just to bet the Stars in Game 1.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do for now, and I'm going to shop around. I'm definitely going to take Wood over 1.5 shots on goal, about minus 170 or so. For Dallas, I kind of really like Wyatt Johnson, and I think you're right that the Avs aren't going to clamp down defensively. So I'll take Wyatt Johnson point, about 150 or so. I'm going to take Seguin over 2.5 shots on goal at plus money. Stankoven over 1.5 shots on goal at about minus 160 or so. I'm going to take Mikko Rantanen under 3.5 shots at about minus 170 or so. I'm going to shop around for the best lines, but I really want to take a shot. He's a freaking human being. He can get lit up. Ottinger.
We've seen probably the best goaltending performances of the last 2 seasons from him alone in the playoffs. Last year, he had some performances that were just ridiculous. 60 save shutout into overtime. Look, it's Kent Davis said, did you already move on Florida? Yes, I did. I already moved on Florida on the -1 line. And Steve G says, much rather be playing Vegas with home ice. The series versus Dallas is going to be tough. I get that, Steve. I think that would. I get that. Dallas proved it all year through the regular season. They run 4 lines. You add Wyatt Johnston on top of this offense. Now, this isn't the same offense as last year because Robertson and Hintz and Pavelski were arguably the best line in the NHL last year. Nobody mentioned them this year because they didn't play that well.
Yeah, Pavelski's awful. I want to take no point for Pavelski as well. That's a lean, but that's something I really would love to do.
And I'm going to, Nichushkin's playing out of his mind. This team is playing very well. But the team the Avalanche just beat had the smallest defense in the NHL. Mm-hmm. Now, they were so good defensively that I just seemed to, when I was talking about size and toughness and saying that Avalanche weren't big enough, then they didn't, there was no punchback from this very small Winnipeg defense. Now, Dallas's defense is not that big, but I do not think that there are a few teams that can beat the Avalanche and can play bigger than the Avalanche. I think the New York Rangers would beat the Colorado Avalanche. They're a big hockey team. They're big defensively. But the Avalanche are a juggernaut right now, and this is the perfect time to fade them off of a 7-day break. It's the absolute perfect time to fade them. So, Coin saying, isn't Dallas a deeper team than Colorado? Yeah, and they, nobody was playing more than 17 minutes. But, another thing is the best 2 players on the ice clearly are in the Colorado Avalanche. So that does kind of level out depth when you're talking about McKinnon and Makar. You're never going to play a team in the playoffs who has a better forward defenseman than McKinnon and Makar. So, we'll see how this bangs out. But I'll tell you what, I'm very confident in the Stars in this one. And I could lose it. Being very confident doesn't mean anything. But I really like this spot. I really like this spot with a Dallas team that doesn't seem too beaten up. That series was not filled with as much toughness and hits as I thought it was going to be. Vegas didn't show enough toughness, and maybe that's what happens when you have some guys like Hurdle, some guys who are tall and 220, but they don't hit, they don't hurt you. No one's scared of Thomas Hurdle. We'll see how it bangs out, Pete. But that's my action tonight. I'm on the Dallas Stars. I'm on at -125, and I did go back to the $400 bet instead of the 3.
All right. Well, I'll list my prop bets, and then I want to just mention my leans, which I guess I won't include. Wood over 1.5 shots on goal, -164, bet online. Wyatt Johnson point, -150, that's Pinnacle. Seguin over 2.5 shots, +136, bet online. Stankoven over 1.5 shots, -157, bet online. Rantanen under 3.5 shots, -167, bet online. And we're going to chuck on Jason Robertson goal at Pinnacle at +207. And we'll leave it at that. But my leans are, I don't know, man, even at -250 or so, McKinnon to get 1 assist. He gets 1 every game. I'm leaning that way. Lehkonen to get a goal. He's been rolling at +200 or so, or to get a point at -140. Nichushkin to get a goal. That's a lean. Makar to get a point. That's, I guess, a lean. And then, I don't know, something's wrong with Pavelski. So no point from Pavelski at -120 or so is also a lean. But any of those seem appealing to you?
JP Taylor saying, if you're on Dallas, do you think the under 6.5 more likely? I do not want. I mean, imagine JP Taylor if you took the under 6.5. Colorado scores 2 goals and you lose because of 2 empty netters for Dallas and they win 5-2. I mean, the last thing you want to be is right and wrong. So I can't like with Georgiev. Georgiev had a 3.03 goals against average and a 900 save percentage in the series. They dominated. So it does make me a little nervous. It does make me a little nervous. And again, I'm not saying Colorado loses today, but did you see how many cappers were on the Panthers yesterday? I mean, but of course, why wouldn't they be? They looked spectacular in the first round and had a week off to rest their injuries. It doesn't work like that. Now, when we get to the next round and after that, it seems to be helpful. And this will probably help Colorado in the long run.
What's wrong with Pavelski? Is he didn't score any points in the entire series?
I don't think anything's wrong with Pavelski.
No,
but something's wrong with that first line. They're just not as dominant, and maybe Pavelski's sort of showing his age a little bit. But
you think he's okay?
Yeah, I think he's fine. I think he's going to have a good series.
All right, I'll lay off. I was going to take Pavelski no point at like -115, but I'll hold off on that one.
I will think about taking the Avalanche team total under, and I'm going to wait. I imagine that after everybody saw the Avalanche high flying 80s Oilers-esque offense in round 1, I think this will keep moving towards the over. And DeBoer is going to lock up. This is a team that runs 4 lines. They're just going to lock up. So, and DC Capper on the under 6.5. It's going to be this is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun.
A lot of comments in the comments section. Look at all this shit. My dude, I love the Avs. Nichushkin's on fire. Dallas for me as well from Nuke Worker. Wow. My dude says, go ahead.
I did. Sorry. One thing that I am doing is when I do go up to 400 and 300, I do feel like I can comfortably step back a second. So I can leave spots off, and I didn't make it a fair -1 in the Florida spot. I just put 200 on each so I could make a little more than the -1, but I put it out on Twitter as if it was a -1. Look, this is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. And Sammy Comer liking the draw here at +370. I want to get back to the draw well here. I've only bet 1 all year, and it was last round. I think I might wait a little bit. I think the Carolina Rangers one is a more appealing draw, but I think they're both pretty appealing. So why don't you review all of your action in NHL? We're going to move on to MLB with Jose Bouquett. For me, tonight, it's just the Dallas Stars at -125. Pete, your action.
All right, I did take with the Rangers Lafreniere assist +250 at BetOnline. Wood over 1.5 shots. Once again, -164 BetOnline. Wyatt Johnson, this guy's rolling to get a point, -150. That's a Pinnacle. Seguin over 2.5 shots +136 BetOnline. Stankoven over 1.5 shots -157 BetOnline. Rantanen under 3.5 shots -167 BetOnline. And Jason Robertson to get a goal +207 Pinnacle.
God, Billy, I think I might tail that. Small. I do also the fandom gets in the way. I do not want Dallas to win, but that might make me feel a little better. Could put something really small, like $50 on Ottinger for Conn Smythe and pick up a K. That might take some of the pain off watching Seguin hand the Stanley Cup to Duchesne. Okay, I love it. And yes, let's take a look at our playoff pool here. We are into the second round, and only one capper, Peter, has all 20 players moving on to the second round. That capper is my mom.
Oh,
my mom is the only one to have all players move on to the second round. She's in great shape. I mean, there's just no way around it. She's in great shape. Earl Sports has the lead right now, 3 points up. And I know where I lost the pool for me. 2 decisions, actually 3 decisions. And I can't make this again. I haven't done this pool in like 15, 20 years, but you just can't take the leading scorer of a hockey team. You have to take the Matthew Tkachuk over Sammy Reinhart. You have to take Marchand over Pasternak. You have to take these heart and soul guys. And then I was just wrong on Fox over Zibanejad. So that's where we stand right now. Slaughter in 5th, Ramon in 6th, TJ in 3rd. And Newgary says Mama bagged the fave after first round. Got to be. A 900 American, 60, 30, 10. So 900 American up for the winner. So there we go. That is NHL for today. It's time to get into MLB, and you're with the right cappers, and those being Peter Loshak and Jose Bouquett, both having spectacular years to get us started. So let's welcome our guest here, fresh off board, SWEEPAGE in MLB, back up 20 units on the season, coming to us from San Antonio, Texas, home of the Southtown 101, best bar in Texas, and Pub Sports Radio. Please welcome Jose Bouquett to the program. Jose, how are you?
Jimmy, Jesus, Pete. I'm doing all right. Can't complain. I like your outfit today, Pete. $500, huh?
Just shy of 600, 590. That's suggested retail price. That means how much can we extract from the morons that populate the world?
Very interesting. I was thinking about as well, Jimmy. Who is suggesting that price?
That's a good question. Noli knows in the house trying to get in my head. I no need to show him the statistics. He's just trying to get in my head. So no worries. Let's just stay focused, and let's get to work because I have moved on game 1. So let's fire away. We start at 3:37 p.m. Eastern. We have the Texas Rangers 20-16, 10-7 on the road at the Oakland Athletics 17-19, 9-11 at home. We're at Oakland Coliseum in Oakland, California. We have Jose Urena versus Ross Stripling. And look, I'm somewhat, I shouldn't say high on Stripling, but I do believe that, he's more than capable of having decent starts. Now, he's coming off a really strong start, but it was at home. So he has the consecutive home starts. Let's get into the weather here in Oakland to get us started here and get into the line history. From a weather standpoint, we have 63 Fahrenheit, 7.8 miles per hour, left to right across the diamond, 7.8 to 10.7 miles per hour. And Nate Dogg is on Oakland money line. There have been times when Jose Arena's first start last year, right? We made all these jokes about how bad he was going to be, and it was very good. I don't feel like that's going to happen here. I'm not that concerned about it happening here, but something feels like too good to be true here in this one. Oakland opening up at plus 113. They're now plus 103. That move makes sense to me. I mean, I get it. I mean, Oakland playing good ball. Jose said that they're going to fight for a playoff spot about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, which was very shocking, but it's coming to fruition. From a total side of things here, this has been bouncing back and forth from 8.5 to 8, 8.5 to 8, 8.5 and 8, continually bouncing back and forth. When we get into the cash flow for this spot, we have 82% of the tickets and 58% of the cash. When I bet this, it was 9 and 11. Oakland had 9% of the tickets and 11% of the cash. Clearly, big bets are coming in on Oakland. I think that makes sense. 68% tickets, 77% cash on the over. Here, Jose Urena with his first start of the season. His last appearance. So this is a bullpen day because Jose Urena just pitched on May 3rd for 2/3 of an inning. He allowed 2 earned runs. Ross Stripling coming off a glorious start. The Rangers rating 258, 743 OPS versus righties A's 210, 650. The Rangers bullpen is starting to pitch quite well. 3.96 ERA, 1.22 whip, converted 8 of 11, while the A's bullpen 3.17 ERA, 1.16 whip, converted 10 of 15. I thought about investing more in this game. And I had this fear of even the 4th and 5th innings with Stripling. I mean, why would I get too confident in Stripling here? So I did take the A's first 3 minus 110 as my only bet. A's first 3 minus 110. I would like just to quickly, before I pass it on, you guys see exactly what that would be right now. I imagine it probably hasn't changed. It's just 5 cents. It's moved 5 cents towards the A's. I could have got at 365. You could have got better at Pinnacle, but at 365 was offering the A's first 5 at plus 100. It's now minus 105, so 5 cents in both directions. Take it away for us here. Shout out to Nasty Nate in the house. Let's get our Jose Bouquett off and racing. Take it away, Jose. Rangers ace.
Yeah, I have no action on this game. I don't have any action so far on the card, and the markets have been pretty tough to read today, so it should be an interesting day. But no action here. I definitely lean towards the A's for sure here. And these are the games that the A's kind of have to win to show that they're a real playoff team. Now, I was watching the A's game closely last night because we had the under and we cashed it. But it was heartbreaking that their 8th inning guy who's been dominant all year gives up a home run to Seager and then loses the game like that. So we'll see. I think they can win this game. It's just, obviously tough trusting Ross Stripling. We did it last time because the market was pretty indicative of him being successful today. But I'll say, at least the market's moving in that direction, Jimmy, when it comes to the A's. There's, like you mentioned, there's only, here we go, 18% of the bets and 42% of the money on the A's. So, again, sharper, bigger bets on the A's seemingly, and the line has moved down a little bit. But I just don't trust the A's fully here. If I was to bet it, it might take a team total. It's just scary to go up against the Rangers offense, who I will say, I was thinking about this last night. They're not the same as last year. Corey Seager was an MVP, dominant beast last year. So far this year, he's been pretty average. So I'll just make that note. They obviously don't have Young anymore right now. So no action here for me, but I lean A's for sure.
And very quickly, Peter's ROI is 9.3%. I know it says plus 0.05, but it's 9.3% his ROI on that 26 and 17 performance. My dude saying also like in that first inning over a half or interest in it. Do we like it? I feel like I'm walking into something like I just don't feel. I'm nervous about this. So I decided to own. I do not want to double down. I got off of that. I'm comfortable with A's first 3. Let's hear what Peter has to say about this one. Take it away, Peter. Rangers A's.
Yeah, there was no overnight line. I'm gonna pass on this one. I didn't look into it too deeply. Stripling is interesting. I'm not exactly sure. I priced out his pitching props and didn't get anything with any kind of confidence. So yeah, my dude says Oakland's on fire right now. Yeah, I couldn't at the opening line. I would have leaned Oakland. Right now, probably can't pull the trigger on it.
Rangers won Robert Martin 20 pounds of lettuce heads last night, Pete. So he's rolling thick.
Right swimming in it. Shit.
Yeah, there's some comedians in the car. Billy Friedrich says Pete looks like the new Zumba instructor for the assisted living facility. Okay. In 2024, we don't really bully anymore, but okay. I'll take it.
Give the Cartel says Stripling allowed 6 runs on 11 hits and 3 walks and 6 innings. A 6-2 loss at Texas on April 10th. 0-2 with 5.87 ERA and 6 career outings, including 3 starts against the Rangers. Something interesting about this Gifted Cartel is I feel, and this we're going to put this all to the test. The first thing you guys saw when I had my first strong year, which in MLB in front of you guys was 2 years ago, and that's when I stopped talking about what happened the day before. I have a feeling that I've been overanalyzing a tiny sample size of pitcher versus the opponent. And I'm not sure if that's the case. But I've been making a point this year of not to care unless there's a real reason to care. For instance, it was brought up today, what 99's been doing against Verlander, Judge not been hitting him, things like that. But just as an overall, and I'm not sure if that's the right thing to do. That's not the right thing. If it's the right thing to do. Clark Edge says we need a pub sports roast. That's a great idea, Clark Edge.
I wonder who'd be the one who gets roasted.
That's something we could definitely do at Pubapalooza.
I feel like I'd be the easiest fucking. I'd just sit there and everyone just line up.
It'd be like $1.
Go ahead, Pete.
Me versus all of y'all. I'll roast the fuck out of everybody.
The great thing about a roast is that everybody gets roasted. It doesn't matter exactly who is the,
okay.
I could see it be like a carnival, like you just set up like a booth. Like here's $1 a joke. Come roast Jose to his face. $1 a joke. The line would go out around the corner. It would be fun.
It would be fun. It's a great idea. It's something we could do at Publipalooza next year. It's a great idea. And I know everyone talking about the Brady roast and how special that was. So respect. And then talk about the over. One thing, give the cartels, what do you think about the over? The fact that it keeps going from 8.5 to 8 to 8.5 to 8, 8.5 to 8, 8.5 to 8 makes me really uncomfortable. It's something that I've stayed away from thus far this year when there's not a clear sentiment from the books. So it's not that I dislike it. Let's roll on. 6:10 p.m. Eastern is next up. So we're going to go back and forth for first breakdown. This will be
actually could just so that I can do my last minute, props, analysis, which didn't work out well last week. But can we just have Jose go first for each game?
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Jimmy, he just wants to copy my bets, Jimmy. We know it. We know it.
Yeah, he's caring too much about fashion over prep.
You're right.
Detroit Tigers 18-17, 10-8 on the road at the Cleveland Guardians 23-12, 11-5 at home. We head over to Progressive Field in Cleveland, Ohio. Let's get into the line. Oh, start with the weather here. We'll start with the weather in Cleveland. 74 Fahrenheit, 6.5 miles per hour to left field. Stays between 6.5 and 8.2 miles per hour. Let's get into the line history here with Tigers, Guardians. The main point of these two teams is just how good their bullpens have both been so far this year. Excellent work from these bullpens. This total sitting at 8.5. It's minus 103 to the under. It opened up at 8 and moved to 8.5. That threw me for a loop. It really did surprise me that had happened. And then from a money line standpoint, we have the Tigers at plus 118. They open at plus 114. So a slight move towards the Guardians. When we get into the cash flow here for this one, we have 48% of the tickets and 47% of cash on the over. And it's gone from 8 to 8.5, which is a very, very interesting move. On the money line, 81% of the tickets and 95% of the cash is on the Cleveland Guardians. I can't quite understand why that would be. Kenta Maeda, 5.02 ERA, 1.22 whip. I know he's allowed 8 home runs in 28 2/3. I know he's difficult to trust, but that was a very impressive start, his last one. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 1 that solo shot, 5 Ks, no walks, and a 4-1 win at home versus Cardinals. Logan Allen, 5.11 ERA, 1.41 whip. He's had a tough season, but he's also coming off a really nice performance. Now, it was an 8-2 loss at the Astros, but it wasn't on him. He went 5 2/3, 7 hits, 3 runs, 2 of which were earned, 1 homer and 5 Ks. The Tigers don't hit lefties, 236, 646 OPS. The Guardians don't hit righties, 234, 683 OPS. And the both bullpens are so good. So why would this go from 8 and 8.5? Which one of these pitchers is vulnerable? A lot of these answers I don't have. Do you have them, Jose Bouquett, Guardians, Tigers?
Yeah, well, shout out to Noli, first of all. Skull in the chat there, so we know about this. But yeah, I stayed off this game too. Actually, I saw a lot of people expecting me to fade KBO Kenta here. But I feel like usually the market is pretty tells you when to back and when to fade Kenta. And he's coming off of 2 good starts here. I believe here. Yeah, 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 5 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs against St. Louis and Tampa Bay for Kenta. No, those are both teams that can't hit worth shit. And the Guardians, I've had a bias against them because for some reason I just keep thinking about the last 30 years of Guardians baseball and their inability to hit. And now for this season, so far, they're smashing the ball. So I've got to just lay off that. I stayed off this game. And we'll see. And obviously, this hot streak will eventually come down to an end. And I think they'll cool off. Last 2 weeks against righties, they are 14th, 94 weighted runs created plus. So maybe those are the first signs of it. But I ended up staying off this game. I'll be interested to see this under comes through, though, for Noli. With 52% of the money and 53% of the bets on the under, and it goes up. I thought that was really weird, but I thought it was more of it opened up at 8.5 minus 125. I frequently say you could tell me that that's just an 8, but on Bet Online, this went from minus 125. 10 minutes later goes to minus 110. So you could also tell me that just opened up a minus 110 there, and Bovada, Bet Online just fucked their lineup there. But no action for me.
Shout out to our guy Sharpie, star of the Odds Bunch YouTube channel, doing shows every day at 2:30 p.m. Eastern and crushing it. He's given us his look thus far. He's going to have more. He's just got to keep digging into that black book of his, but he's going to give us some fodder for the last spot on the board. Cabrera pitching against his Dodgers, and he's on over 5.5 Ks. Thank you for sharing that with us, Sharpie, my guy. Take it away, Peter. Your thoughts on this spot here. Tigers, Guardians.
First, shout out to Sharpie, and this is absolutely true. Sharpie's show is the one show I try to catch every friggin' day. In replay, I'm not around for live, but shout out to Sharpie. Great analysis for baseball pitchers, very invaluable. This one, look, I don't know. I don't like that Noli's liking the under. I was liking the over, and I was particularly liking Logan Allen to be a little bit vulnerable here. I was thinking about Logan Allen. Detroit first 5 team total over, just 1.5. The Detroit full game team total over. I was leaning over overall. But, Noli knows if Noli knows likes a friggin' under, it's very hard for me to go against that. Lean, though, small lean to Detroit. Lean to Detroit team total over and first 5 team total over and over.
Wow. All right. Let's move on. Now, this is going to be obviously the most important game of the day for me. 6:40 p.m. Eastern, LA Angels, 12-23, 8-12 on the road.
You know what? I'm sorry, Jim. Yeah. Let me just, I'll take it. I'll take the first 5 team total over 1.5 minus 143 for Detroit at Pinnacle.
So, Loshak is on Tigers team total over 1.5. What was the juice on that?
Minus 143 at Pinnacle. I should probably do the full game. But I should probably do the full game at 3.5. But no, I'll just Cleveland's bullpen's been good, hasn't it?
Cleveland's bullpen, 2.47 ERA, 1.03 WHIP, have converted 13 of 19 save opportunities.
All right, I'll just stick with I like both of them, 3.5, 1. I'll stick with the 1.5.
There you go. Pistol Pete is in. Let's talk about this Angels Pirate spot. You guys know I was a staunch supporter of Quinn Priester when our friend Gagnon called him one of the 10 worst pitchers. And I forget what he said exactly. And I like capping with Gagnon a lot. I love capping with my man Gagnon, but I was very, very much against his breakdown of Quinn Priester. And I'm starting to see the light with Patrick Sandoval. And we saw it against the Phillies who smashed lefties. So I knew I wanted the unders. And I was like, is this just because of me fighting for Quinn Priester? Is this? And while I was doing this yesterday at like 7-6, there was this big move to the under. Now, I caught it in time, but I could have got the under 8.5 at minus 105 at 365. In the end, I got it at minus 112 at Pinnacle. At that point, it had moved to minus 120 at 365. Now, Pinnacle's moved this to 7.5. So I got the 8.5 at minus 112, and I got the under 4.5 minus 109. Now, obviously, smashing a market move does not equate to necessarily, huge ROI. But here we go. I've got unders in this one. I bet them around 6:30 or 7 last night, tweeting them around the same time. And I was sort of afraid to do that because the market hadn't explained itself. And I'm not sure if these bets where I'm making them before the market matures are going to succeed. Over the last 2 years, they haven't. It's been my action here with you guys that has had a higher ROI than bets I've come to the show with. But I digress. Let's break this down here. Weather-wise in Pittsburgh, 75 Fahrenheit, 8.1 miles per hour right to left. Stays between 8.1 and 6.5. There's some talk about there going to be rain late. I don't have that here in my numbers, but Justin McKelvey, boots on the ground in Pittsburgh, telling us that that's the case, so we always trust that. Let's get into the line history here for this one. This total now at 7.5 at Pinnacle. It didn't move to 8 until 9 this morning. Wow. Jesus, I didn't realize that. I didn't realize this market had moved against me at 12:47 in the morning. I thought I just matched it, but now it's moved to 7.5, so it's a full run move to the under there. I wouldn't mind just seeing quickly what the first 5 has done. And the first 5 is still at 4.5. Wow. Not only that, but this was at 4. And 25 minutes ago went back up to 4.5. So there's only been a 9-cent move on the first 5 under. That's wild. Absolutely wild. Okay. Then from a money line standpoint here, we have the Pirates and Quinn Priester at minus 123. They open up minus 124. They got up to minus 131. This move to back 8 cents towards the Angels happened about 30 minutes ago. Let's get into the cash flow then for this one from a cash flow standpoint. 83% of the tickets and 99% of the cash on the Pirates. Jesus, I don't want to convolute this action, but how do I not bet the Angels now? And then 51% of the tickets, 61% cash on the under. Only 51% of the tickets, 61% cash on the under, and we go down a full run. Truth Teller says fade Quinn. Truth Teller, you've had colleagues in the chat who felt the same way about Quinn Priester, and it's not being successful for you guys. 3.31 ERA, 1.29 whip. He's been very good. Coming off a 4-0 loss at the A's, 2 of those runs were earned. The Angels are hitting 238, 688 OPS versus righties. Pirates 244, 723 OPS versus lefties. Pirates actually hit lefties. They are worst in the league right now against righties. Sandoval's last start was great against the Phillies. The Angels bullpen's been a problem. 5.24 ERA, 1.36 whip, 7 of 11 converted save opportunities. Pirates bullpen 3.76 ERA, 1.23 whip, converted 10 of 18 save opportunities. Now with the fade Quinn and Angels first 5, 99% of the cash is on the Pittsburgh Pirates. Jose, is that pushing you towards backing Patrick Sandoval after that after that strong start at the Phillies? Take it away, Jose.
No, I haven't really seen much movement on the money line side. So not enough movement for me to move on there. I lean Angels, of course, but I'll jump on the under with you. Full game under 8. I got minus 120. I'm seeing, well, my odds page was being a little finicky with this one, I guess, because it had it opening at an 8. And you can just click on some of the odds pages. You can see it really kind of opened up at 8.5 there, and it dropped down to 8. And even Bovada is showing 7.5s now. Heritage has 7.5s. So if you have Bet Online, you can still get it 8 minus 120 there. So I took it full game. Not going to double up here because, as you would say, Jimmy, I'm trying to keep it nice and clean. Just clean. Yesterday, that's what I did. It just didn't complicate it. Took the full game unders, let it ride. That's what we'll be doing here again. I mean, it's very scary backing Patrick Sandoval after a good start, I will admit. But I'll trust him here.
10 strikeouts in 5 innings. When you say that there hasn't been a move, this is exactly where it opened at 5:25 p.m. yesterday at Pinnacle. Isn't that exactly what we're looking for? With 99%?
I'd rather it move to the Angels. You know, like at least 5-10 cents. You know, at some point. Now, it did a little bit, but it came back as we've talked about here. So that's the concern. Like at one point, apparently this got down to minus 117. Now, if this was minus 117, I'd be on the Angels for sure. But yeah, not right now.
Truth Teller betting the Angels first 5. I don't want to convolute anything. And then Mikey Money coming with your grandma's wearing your sister's panties again. Play of the day. Excuse me.
What?
Oh, nothing.
That was that noise. You sounded interested there, Pete.
Yeah, very interested. Pittsburgh.
My grandma's wearing my sister's panties. My ears perked up.
We noticed. We recognize that. Pittsburgh in the under 8.5 plus 205 for our guy Mikey Money. My dude says I really like the Pirates to win for Priester today, but I can't never back them. It's the Pirates. I'm interested in the Angels. Very, very interested right now. I feel like the 10 strikeouts that Sandoval dropped on the Phillies. I guess they're saying he's going to shove here. Pistol Pete Loshak, your plan of attack.
I mean, I was definitely.
Sorry, let me quickly. Sorry, Joey Work in the house. The great Joey Work. What a great MLB capper, man. He started with us. Joey Work started with us.
Hell yeah.
Low bag OG, low bag 6 years ago when we were down in Costa Rica, and led by example. He crushed all the time. So shout out to our guy Joey Work. Great to see you in the chat, and hopefully we can get you on screen, man.
Hell yeah.
Pete, take it away, my man.
My numbers like Pittsburgh at like minus 120 or so. Still like it, just a little bit less. Now it's minus 123 at Pinnacle. I don't like Priester. Don't like the spot for Sandoval. Don't like the over. So, but my numbers say Pittsburgh. That's a line.
And Priester's never delivered at PNC Park before.
Yeah.
I mean. Okay.
I'm going to pass though. I'm
interested in the Angels. I don't know if I get there, but I'm interested in the Angels. Jose's moved on the under 8. I got the under 8.5 -112, and the under 4.5 at -109. And that 4.5 is available again, which is strange to see go to 7.5 and that 4.5 and stay available. Strange. Let's roll on. We had the Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati, Ohio, 6:40 p.m. Eastern. We have the Arizona Diamondbacks 15-20, 6-10 on the road at the Cincinnati Reds, 16-18, 9-10 at home. Zach Gallen versus Frankie Montas, and Frankie Montas here coming off the IL. So he was on the IL with the forearm injury and was dealing with it in that 3-0 win at home over the Angels. He went for only 2/3 of an inning and was pulled. The under still hit that day. He started off the year in unbelievable fashion. We know he wanted to pitch for the Yankees at the end of last year, and they wouldn't let him. They were upset at him. And he showed out for a few weeks. Now he's back pitching, poorly. And now maybe you could blame that on the forearm muscle, and he's back in business. Zach Gallen, on the other hand, 3-2, 3.3 ERA, 1.22 whip, 35 Ks in 32 innings, 9 walks, 4 homers. Last start, 5 innings, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 homers, 3 Ks, 1 walk, and that 6-1 loss at the Mariners. Diamondbacks versus righties, 219 and 647 OPS, poor. Reds, same deal, 210, 646. But both bullpens have struggled. Diamondbacks bullpen, 4.57 ERA, 1.41 whip, converted 6 of 13. The Cincinnati Reds, at this point, 34 games into the season, have only had 8 save opportunities. They've converted 6 of them, but 4.40 ERA, 1.32 whip. My dude says Pirates hit lefties really good. Pirates against lefties at home are 252 with a 759. It was great against lefties. I gave you the numbers, 244, 723 OPS. I stated the numbers in the breakdown. I didn't state their home numbers. So here we go to the Diamondbacks, Reds. Let's get into it. But it's important. I don't mean to shut that down. I mean, it's important to get all the information out as clearly as possible. DC Capper on Arizona -125. Let's get into the line history here with this one. Gallen sitting at -127, opened up -123. 4 cents of movement towards the Diamondbacks. We get into the total in this one. Let me just move back to full game. On that first 5, the full game total sitting at 8.5. It's -118 to the over. Now this opened up at 9, dropped down 8.5, back up to 9. It's -118 to the over and +105 to the under. So it's basically a 9 here with maybe a slight move to the under. And then when we get to the cash flow for this one, we have 56% of tickets and 45% of the cash. It's a pick 'em on the total clear. And money line wise, 66% of tickets and 58% cash on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Wine Time Sports on the under 8.5 in this one. Cover King says the titty capper play of the day is Zach Gallen over 5.5 strikeouts right now. My dude says both the Reds and D-backs can't hit for shit in this game. Both teams' bats can't hit for shit right now. 2 good pitchers on the mound. I love the first 5 under and the full game under. Take it away for us here, Jose Bouquett. We're in Cincinnati, Ohio for Diamondbacks Reds.
So I'm not seeing any rehab starts for good old Frankie Montas either. So
it was a min situation. He was back pretty quick.
Yeah, I don't know if I can trust him after no rehab starts, and a forearm injury is something. So I stay off this game, and I definitely lean Diamondbacks. Honestly, even though obviously, as we've come to know now, that Zach Gallen is much better at home than he is on the road here. I tend to lean Diamondbacks, though, for sure. Now, the line movement is kind of weird in this game. Admittedly, I had this game on Bet Online. This opened up at -109 for the Diamondbacks, and it's climbed all the way up. But Bovada opened at -130. Bookmaker opened this at -125. Pete's favorite book, Heritage, opened this at -120. So I don't know why, but Bet Online would open it up that low. So I tend to ignore that and just think that there hasn't been that much movement. The ticket splits are pretty even when it comes to the total. I guess they're favored the Diamondbacks money line wise, but not enough to really get me on anything on this game, unfortunately. So I leaned Arizona for sure, and I just can't trust Frankie Montas with no rehab starts or nothing to get back from that forearm. And this game isn't red on RotoWire, but I anticipate this game going. Who knows?
And my bad for not discussing that. Light rain to start it off, but so it could be pushed minimally. A 9.2 miles per hour right to left, between 9.2 and 10.7 miles per hour, 75 Fahrenheit at first pitch. Pistol Pete Loshak, any interest here in Cincinnati?
Yeah, I like the Gallon strikeout over 5.5 when it opened at -145. It's up to -60 at a bunch of places. Heritage still has 152. So I don't know. Obviously he's way better on at home than on the road, but he does get his strikeouts on the road. I guess I don't want to get negative in MLB, but I'll take that one. I'll take Gallon over 5.5 strikeouts, -152. Current line at Heritage. Pinnacle and other places are up in the 160s now, but I'll take that one. I think it's a decent spot for Gallon. Montes, yes, wild card, and I'll just stick with that.
And Darren Thompson saying that severe weather beginning at 5 p.m. Cincinnati, hail winds possible. There is going to be a thunderstorm at some point, judging by the Weather Network, but not by Swish for whatever reason. And then we have Pete. Can you give me your action once more?
Yeah, just Gallon over 5.5 strikeouts, -152. Current line Heritage. It's moving up.
Noli knows backing Arizona first 5, backing Zach Gallen first 5, fading Montauk.
Shit, that might be the only amount of innings you get.
There you go. Jose and I off of that spot. Let's roll on. 6:40 p.m. Eastern. We have the Toronto Blue Jays 16, 19, 8, and 12 on the road at the Philadelphia Phillies 25 and 11, 14 and 6 at home at Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia. Let's take a look at the weather here for this spot. We have the 81 Fahrenheit, 7.4 miles per hour out to right center. Stays between 7.4 and 9 miles per hour for the game. Let's go into the line history here for this one. On the total, Barrios Sanchez, it's sitting at 8 at a pick'em. This opened up at 8, went up to 8.5 for a while. It went up to 8.5, 4 hours and 12 minutes after it opened. Opened at 5:25 p.m. Pinnacle moved it up to 8.5, 9:37 p.m., and then brought it back to 8 at 9:16 a.m. And now we've had no movement. Oh, I take that back. Sorry, 6 cents of movement on the under. Then from a money line standpoint, should have that up. Here we go. From money line standpoint, we're sitting here with Sanchez and the Phillies at -117. They opened up -124. So we've had the Jays go from +115 to +107. And then cash wise here for this one, we have 88% of the tickets and 99% of the cash on the Phillies. Wow. 88 and 99. Huh. Screaming, take the Jays. To me, 50% of the tickets and 58% of cash on the under. So Jose Barrios has had an excellent season. 4-2, 1.44 ERA, 1.01 WHIP, 43 2/3, 31 strikeouts, 13 walks, 4 homers. His last start, he went 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 3 Ks, 1 walk, and a 4-1 loss at home versus the Royals. And before we can go on to Christopher Sanchez and what the Phillies are doing versus righties and the bullpens, there was a tweet that was put out, or an X post that was put out that Jose shared with me. And I'd like Jose to discuss it here, and I'll have it on the screen. Basically saying that Barrios has been the luckiest pitcher in Major League Baseball this year, and it took me by surprise. Jose, do you want to explain it?
Yeah, I was surprised by it too. I'm obviously anti-Jose Barrios, but I haven't been fading him or anything this year. And these are just his numbers on Savant. And obviously you want these to be in red rather than blue. But they're hitting the shit out of him. 50% hard hit rate is pretty crazy. But they're hitting the shit out of him, then barreling him up pretty well. And his expected ERA is supposed to be a 4.88. So allegedly, all this Jose Barrios love is going to come back to the mean and regress. Because if you're getting hit that hard, that consistently, it eventually will come back, but we'll see. Obviously expected stats are, obviously, very expected, not at reality.
Yes. It was a fascinating post that I was shocked by.
Yeah, and it's not like it wasn't like a fan that posted this. It was like I forget who posted it. It was like one of those like baseball savant, like it's just like a baseball stats page that just presents all this data and shows people like, hey, maybe Jose Barrios is getting lucky, or hey, Shohei Ohtani's all of his savant pages numbers are at 100, blah blah blah. So it's interesting. But I'll tell you, I'm right there with you in the same boat when it comes to backing them today.
Yeah, and then let's talk Christopher Sanchez and then hand it over to Jose. Sanchez, 1-3, 3.68 ERA, 1.5 through it, 29 and third, 29 Ks, 13 walks, and a homer. His last start was 6-5 loss at the Angels. He didn't pitch very well. 4 earned runs over 5 innings, 1 strikeout, 2 walks. And the Jays are actually hitting lefties. It's hard to imagine they're hitting anything when you watch them, but 251.
Yeah, those sons of bitches cost me fucking under after under this weekend. The Blue Jays did. They've been hitting the ball.
Yeah. We had a Vladdy Guerrero sighting as well. 727 OPS though against lefties, so they're hitting with a high average, but still lacking power. Phillies are hitting 252 versus righties with 749 OPS here. Jay's bullpen is now the worst in the league. I know I told you guys that they're better than their numbers indicate, and they will end up in the top 12. Look, it feels like it's just one guy, Swanson, letting us down, and I know it's not just one guy. But I do think this is a good bullpen. Obviously, it's the stats that will tell the story, not my feelings on the bullpen. 1.41 WHIP. They've converted 9 of 12 save opportunities. Phillies bullpen's been bad. 4.75 ERA, 1.43 WHIP. Converted 12 of 18 save opportunities. That hasn't stopped them from winning nonstop. My dude says, I agree with you, Jose, 1,000%. Says Barrios is going to get rocked eventually, and that ERA is going to rise. Joe Yeager says 96.6% left on base percentage. Way too lucky. Take it away, Jose. Your plan, Jays, Phillies.
Yeah, I think this is don't overcomplicate it and take the Jays here. Now, again, we kind of just went over those numbers, semi-slandering Jose Barrios, but today, in the stat that I cared most about, is 12% of the bets and 1% of the money on the Toronto Blue Jays. And yet we've come back to the Blue Jays here, opening up at minus 128 for me. For the Phillies, now minus 119. Bovada opened this at minus 125. Oh, no, wrong line. Excuse me. Clicked on the wrong one. They opened this at minus 131. Now it's minus 122. We say this on the show frequently. If there's a spot where all the money is on that one side and they're moving it towards the other side, making it more appealing to keep betting that side, I'm going to take the other side every time, and I'll just take full game Blue Jays. Somehow, some way, the Blue Jays will win this game, whether it's a Jose Barrios masterclass or a late inning comeback. Blue Jays win this game.
Huh. What do you think about that? So you moved on the Jays?
I am right now as I'm speaking.
Wow. Peter Loshak, your plan for Jays Phillies?
Yeah, this is weird. Well, first of all, I definitely had Barrios circled as lucky. Maybe not luckiest in all of baseball, but I definitely had him as I have it in my notes right here. Not because I looked somewhere else. Just I glanced at it. It was kind of obvious. Been hit lucky. Sanchez, obviously, way worse on the road now back home. And I was leaning Philly and Philly team total over. And maybe the Sanchez over strikeout prop, but the line has obviously moved. The total headed down. Someone must be out for the Philly lineup. So some big hitter must be out for Philly. That's the only explanation for the total and the side move. Someone must be out for Philly that we don't know about yet necessarily, or at least I don't. That would explain it, right?
I don't have anyone yet, obviously, because no expected lineups, but that'd be interesting. I mean, the thing is, I don't ever expect lines to move too dramatically for one player being out, honestly.
Yeah, or two guys out. I don't know, but that would explain the line, the big move towards Toronto and the big move to the under. I was leaning Philly. I was leaning Philly team total over, and I was leaning Sanchez over 4.5 strikeouts at plus money. That was 133 that I first got it. Now it's down, about 15 cents or so.
It's a very, very tricky baseball game that probably wouldn't be so tricky if, we didn't sort of analyze how lucky he's being.
I'll admit, I think this was the easiest bet I've made today. I'm fairly confident in the Blue Jays today, just based off that market move. Like the unders I've made today are a little more sketchy for me. And we've talked about how my unders and my totals record this year has been ridiculous, but I just think that whenever they're throwing up 99+% on one side and we're moving it to the other side, I think that's just an easy bet to make every time. And again, it might not go 100%, it might go 60%, but I think we'll cash.
I respect it. What did you get on the Jays?
Plus 108 is what I got on those Blue Jays today.
Are you making anything official here, Pete?
I'll take Sanchez over 4.5 strikeouts, currently plus 127 at Bet Online. It's worse other places, but I'll take that over 4.5 strikeouts plus 127 for Sanchez, Bet Online.
Plus 127 over 4.5 strikeouts.
You know,
yeah.
Jimmy, I'm sure you saw this, but the Blue Jays manager Schneider, I think it was in Washington, said like the first game when he got there, like his tone completely changed, and he was like, "We need to go now. Like we can't wait on shit. We need to go now." And like, it was one of those weird like comments or quotes from the media that makes it seem like I think he started to turn the screw a little bit in the locker room and on the offense, hopefully. And we saw the Nationals get bombed off of all weekend. I'm gonna hope that National Series is the start of the offense starting to come alive for the Blue Jays here.
And we are also hoping that Noli knows giving us another skull. First five
full game skulls there.
I love it. And you know, I love Gagnon sticking with his Priester, worst 10 pitchers in the league. Gagnon says Quinn Priester getting lucky last two games, facing bottom 23 to 30 scoring teams. Still managed to give 2 home runs today in Oakland ballpark. So since Gagnon said that he was one of the 10 worst pitchers in the league, I think it was 10 worst pitchers in the league, or the worst pitcher in the league. I forget exactly. Since Gagnon said that, 12 innings pitched, 2 earned runs allowed. 12 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, Gagnon. But you can
dig your heel, Gagnons. Dig your heels.
Dig in, Gagnon. Dig in. 12 innings, 2 earned runs allowed since our debate. Gagnon.
Don't give up.
Don't give up. Never give up, Gagnon. We'll keep at it. We'll keep at it all year. We'll keep refreshing it. All right, let's roll on. Next up for a 6:45 p.m. Eastern, Baltimore Orioles 23-11, 11-4 on the road at Washington Nationals, 17-17, 6-9 at home. We're at Nationals Park in Washington, D.C. No, that's not true, Gagnon. You said that before the Giants game. You said it before you met Harrison. If you need me, if you want us to come to replay this, so that's not true at all. You said that, and he did not allow a run against San Francisco Giants.
It definitely doesn't help that his team has scored 0 runs in his last 2 appearances. But it has helped our unders. So thank you, Quinn Priester.
Okay, Gagnon, I will.
Now this is the Jimmy's note at the top of his notes now. Replay for Gagnon. I wish I wasn't such a coward. I would fucking take Trevor Williams here and the Nationals yet again. But I took the Nationals and some unders this weekend with them, and it burned me. They stung me. The Manoah start hurt my feelings quite a little bit.
You know, maybe you did, Gagnon. Maybe you did say it, but before the A's game, before another quality start. But I will double check it. Maybe you did, and it's fun. It's fun. It's fun to debate these things. Okay, let's roll on. Next up for us, 6:45 p.m. Eastern, with the Baltimore Orioles 23-11, 11-4 on the road at Washington Nationals, 17-17, 6-9 at home. We're at Nationals Park in Washington, D.C. So let me just get that straight. So then you would have said it on last Wednesday. Yeah, maybe that's possible. So you said it last Wednesday. Maybe it's possible. We'll go over it. Corbin Burns going up against Trevor Williams. Corbin Burns coming off 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 6 Ks, and a walk. And that was the game where the market moved heavily towards Luis Gil. We moved on it, and we got paid. Beautiful. Luis Gil was spectacular, and Corbin Burns was good. He's been good. Trevor Williams has been better. Hard to believe that. Trevor Williams just delivering, coming off another 5 innings of scoreless pitching. 1-0 win at the Rangers. Orioles are hitting .237, 721 OPS versus righties. The Nats 238, 698 OPS versus righties. Both bullpens have been good. Orioles bullpen 3.54 ERA, 1.11 WHIP, converted 11 of 18. Nationals bullpen 3.81 ERA, 1.41 WHIP, converted 11 of 17. Joe Yurkovich says the Nats have value. DC Capper on the other side with Baltimore -1. By the way, Sharpie says had to take care of something, but Berrios shoves today. So, here's a capper who focuses only on pitchers, and he has no faith in those numbers that we dropped, which is very, very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, expected numbers are so, like kind of finicky. You can't really go off that shit, but it's interesting. It's definitely interesting. I'd be more worried about the barrel rate. It was the one, and I was like, 50%. But yeah, I'm going to be interested to see how it does going forward.
That it was shocking to read those numbers. Absolutely.
Yes,
shocking.
I agree.
Okay, let's roll onto this line history wise for Orioles Nationals. This total sitting at 8.5. It is -103 to the under. It opened at -112 to the under. So we've had 9 cents of movement towards the over. When we get to the money line here in this one, we have press wrong button there. When we have the money line here in this one, we have the Nats at +187. They opened up at +177. So the line is moving towards the Orioles. Surprisingly, I know the Nats have made a lot of people a lot of money. Let's get into the cash flow for this spot here. 61% of tickets, 50% cash on the under. And on the money line, we have 14% of tickets and 27% of cash on the Washington Nationals. So here we go. Take it away, Jose Bouquett. The Highway, what do you call it again? The Highway Series, the Belt Series? What are these two teams? Very close. Beltway Series. Take it away, Orioles, Nationals.
Yeah, no action here. This is not the big dog that I'm betting in this card. And Jimmy, I will remind you that you said that you're not going to let your friends bet the worst team on the card alone here. So I just want to remind you of that quote before going into
the market was moving towards the Rockies.
Yes, and we will talk about that later today.
It was a brilliant call. It made us both nice cash. Here, the market is not moving towards.
No, so yeah, this is not it. But I'm saying later in the card.
Okay, thank God.
Later in the card, when I'm taking the big dog, just a reminder, you said that you can't let your friends do it alone.
Yeah. No, you made me. That was a hugely important bet.
Yes, it was good.
Very, very, very important.
And it wasn't really sweaty either, to my memory.
No, they were in control. Okay, good. I thought you were saying, please take the Nationals with me.
It's later on the card. We'll talk about this again. I just want to remind you of that fact.
Okay. And let's hear a Battle of the Beltway, says our Von Polo. Newkirk says he was lying, Jose. Listen, dude. I followed him with the Rockies. We got paid. Peter Loshak, Battle of the Beltway, Battle of I-35. Take it away.
The Baltimore. Sorry, I got
Baltimore.
disconnected. Yeah, I mean at the current line, my numbers would like the Nats, although it's one of those bets that just would make me sick to actually bet. But at the current line, I do like that. I might have a small play on it anyway. And let me see other stuff. Yeah, basically just lean Nats, but I'm going to hold off. And then as far as the total is concerned, let me see what all my numbers say. Yeah, it's just I'm really like pretty much being very careful about fading Baltimore right now. Don't want to do it here, even though the numbers say small value with the Nats at the current line and small lean to the over as well. That's just basically what my numbers say. I don't personally agree with that.
I do not know what to do with that ball game, and I don't. I feel like when we faded Corbin Burns, we got out with the bag. Just be thankful.
Yeah, I'm not moving on this game. Yeah,
let's move on. 6:50 p.m. Eastern. Chicago White Sox 8-27, 3-15 on the road at Tampa Bay Rays 18-18, 12-9 home. We're at the Trop. Soroka going up against Eflin. Eflin back home where he generally delivers. Coming off a 7-1 loss to the Brewers, 5 2/3, 6 hits, 3 runs, 1 homer, 6 Ks, no walks. A couple things have happened in the last little while. First off, the Rays bullpen has stepped up. The cash cow from Troy Torrance, cash cow. So that would be for
Yeah, which one, Troy? I would assume it's Orioles here, but who knows?
I would
Both.
assume it's Orioles, but they both are.
Yeah, they're both in that range.
Relevant. The Rays have gone from minus 238 to minus 255. 17 cents of movement towards Eflin and the Rays.
That might be the Rays, yeah.
And from a total side of things here, we have a 7.5 now. This opened up at 8. It's dipped to 7.5, come back to 8 a couple times. And then when we get to the cash flow here, oh yeah, it can only be the home team. You're absolutely right. So it's definitely the Rays. 93% of the tickets, 96% of the cash on the Tampa Bay Rays. Soroka's last start, 6-5 loss at home versus Twins. He pitched good, 4 1/3, above average, decent. 4 1/3, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 Ks, 2 walks. Didn't get to the 5. Didn't get close to the quality start. 6.4 ERA, 1.62 up, 16 Ks and 19 walks, 7 home runs. Look, his numbers are bad. They're horrific. But the Rays offense is heating up. Still don't have power against righties season long. We'll start changing these numbers as we move forward throughout the season. We won't just focus on season long. But right now, season long, 241, 682 OPS. White Sox, 214, 605 OPS. And the Rays bullpen has climbed. They were the worst bullpen in Major League Baseball. They've been much, much better over the last little while. Overall, in the year, 4.89 ERA, 1.41 whip, converted 11 of 19. While the White Sox bullpen's 4.34 ERA, 1.47 whip, converted 5 of 14. Oh, thank you, Joe. Thank you. Means a lot, Joe. Means a lot. Saying Soroka.
Yeah, I was thinking this as well. I mean, statistically, Soroka is the worst pitcher in Major League Baseball.
He's coming off a decent start against a Twins team that was raking. But take it away for us here, Jose Bouquett. Are you going to roll with the cash cow play of the day?
Yeah, I'm going to throw it in a parlay. I was thinking about what to throw it in the parlay or what to throw with it in the parlay. I think I'll just end up going Jays, Rays here, making a little ALE special and just throw them together because we all know cash cow does what it does. Cashes frequently. You can take the run lines and just feel good about it, et cetera, et cetera. I just don't bet run lines because I've never had good success with them. So I just put it in a nice, easy 2-leg parlay, Rays money line, Jays money line. A little under plus 200. I'll do the calculations for it in a second, but I just bet it. So that'll be my official action. Otherwise, no action for this game.
So, sorry, Jose, what was that again? Rays and
Jays parlay together plus 190, I believe. Yes, plus 190. So I just bet it. That'll be the only action I have on this game. Shout out to Troy and the cash cow.
Sharpie leaning towards Eflin under 5.5.
Oh, you have you muted there for a second. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Not on StreamYard, I guess. I don't know why.
Sharpie leaning towards Eflin under 5.5 strikeouts.
Still can't hear you.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I guess you might be unplugged or something. I'm not sure. But yeah,
wait, you talking about Jimmy the Bag? You can't hear Jimmy the Bag?
Okay, never mind. Sorry.
I can hear him.
Okay.
Okay.
I
can hear you now. Sorry.
Okay, we will roll on. Next up for us, 7:05 p.m. Eastern. Houston Astros 12-22, 5-10 on the road at the New York Yankees 23-13, 11-5 at home. Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. This is going to be so much fun. Can we mess with Luis Gil after we just cashed with him against Corbin Burns?
Yes.
Back Verlander here in this spot, who's been throughout the year, 2.08 ERA, 1.15 whip. He's only struck out 13 and 17 in the third. He's not trying to do too much out there, and he's being rewarded for it. And Luis Gil showing why the Yankees have so much belief in him. Astros versus righties, 255, 715 OPS. Yankees versus righties, 248, 752 OPS. Yankees bullpen now clearly the class of baseball at this point. 2.27 ERA, 1.09 whip, converted 16 of 22. The Astros, it's amazing, in 34 games, they've only had 11 save opportunities. What's more amazing, they've only converted 3 of them. 4.44 ERA, 1.38 whip. Ricky Bobby leaning towards Astros first 5. And the ribeye play of the day is in Kyle Tucker. Kyle Tucker at plus 175 for the ribeye play of the day. Kyle Tucker at plus 175. Juan Soto, or for Rocco Rogers looking at Juan Soto over 1.5 bases. So there's the situation. Let's dive a little deeper. Let's talk about the weather in the Bronx. We have 73 Fahrenheit, 6.6 miles per hour right to left across the diamond, and then slightly in when it's between 6.6 and 7.4 miles per hour. Let's get into the money line history here. The Yankees at minus 115. They opened up at minus 119. So the Astros gone from plus 110 2 plus 106. And when we get into the total in this one, we have an 8.5. It's minus 115 to the over. It opened up at 8 and it's moved to 8.5. So a market move towards that over. And when we take a look at the money, 82% of the tickets, 96% of the cash is on the New York Yankees. 82 and 96. 71% of tickets, 68% cash on the over. How do we not back the Houston Astros and Justin Verlander here? Take it away, Jose Bouquett.
Yeah, I wanted to back the Yankees here, admittedly. I was very interested in it. You've heard me say many a times that I'm down on the Astros this year. I don't think they're a very good team, and all the people that were making decisions for them are all gone, basically. So I'm very interested in the Yankees here, but the market admittedly has kept me off. Now, Joe Yurkovich just asked a good question and saying, when's the last time or what is Justin Verlander's ROI as a dog? And I just went to go look and see when's the last time Justin Verlander was an underdog like this. So his dog spots, it's actually been pretty recently. It helps that he was on the Mets, obviously. But he's overall 17 and 13 as a dog here. I should actually put when he was on the fucking Astros here, but he's pretty good in translation. But the market, like I said, is the translation here of what kept me off. Like I said, I wanted to bet the Yankees, but 82% of the bets and 96% of the money on the Yankees. I was hoping that this line would go from the opener of minus 113 to like minus 130. That'd make me a little better, or make me feel a little better if I wanted to back the Yankees here. But Jimmy, this opened up at minus 113 at Bet Online, now only minus 115. The same thing with Bovada. This opened up at minus 125 at Bovada. It's actually minus 121. Bookmaker, the same thing, minus 117. No, minus 120 there. So by my rules for this year, I should be on the Astros. Really. So if you can help, I guess, confirm that movement towards the Astros with all that movement or all that money and shit on the Yankees, then I will probably end up being on the Astros. But it's tough. Like I said, it's gone back and forth. And if I can't really get a good feel in the market in this case, I'll probably just stay off.
Yeah, I think this is a really nice opportunity to test Luis Gil here. And sorry, Gagnon, what milking up the Tita and doesn't want me in on the juice?
He wants that milky juice.
I've got that for you, Gagnon. I've got that for you. Got that milky juice for you, Gagnon. Is that what you're thirsty for, Gagnon? Is that what you like to drink right now? Because I've got that for you. I could also make a phone call and get 5 or 6 other guys to offer it up into your face as well. Pistol Pete, tell me your thoughts here in Yankees Astros, because I'm ready for the Astros.
I guess I'm gonna have to stay off this. Gil is very untrustworthy as far as his control issues. Last start was excellent. Yeah, I mean two nice starts as far as control is concerned. And Verlander, kind of looking to fade him as well. My lean, I like the over when it was 7.5 or 8. Now it's up to 8.5. Creeping up a little high. I did take a small shot with Verlander under 5.5 strikeouts, a big juice. No, I'm going to give that as official play. Leaning Yankees as well. I guess officially I'm going to have to stay off of it.
Jimmy, I'll ride with you.
I think we have to.
All right. I mean, yeah, again, I started this breakdown thinking I was going to bet the Yankees, and then that market just screaming Astros. And if we're going to bet the Astros on any start day this year, it has to be Justin Verlander starts day. So I just think the Astros are not. I've gotten to the point where I don't think they'll make the playoffs, but we'll see.
I think this is my fear obviously is Luis Gil. It's not that Verlander's not going to have a solid start for us. Is it Luis Gil going to be spectacular? That's the only fear.
Yeah, and I'll trust the Astros offense. It's still, all this shit for them it's 90% of their pitching. Like all of it is the issues for their season. Now it would help if Alex Bregman had more than like 1 home run this year. But yeah, I agree wholeheartedly.
Let's roll on. Next up for us. What's he saying? It's a fucking joke for one, like you and your record. All right, buddy. No, it's not a losing record, Gagnon, but you're not even okay. Gagnon, let's just all stay focused here and cap together. 7:20 p.m. Eastern, Boston. I thought he was coming at me. I don't know who he's firing at now. Gagnon just angry. I mean, you're allowed to have a wrong take, Gagnon. It's okay. You don't need to start firing bullets at everybody. Your take on Quinn Priester, the 19th overall pick in the draft, who had, as he was 23 years old, was just wrong. I mean, it's okay. Boston Red Sox 19-16, 12-7 on the road at Atlanta Braves 20-12, 11-4 at home at Truist Park in Atlanta, Georgia. We have Cutter Crawford going up against Ronaldo Lopez. Speaking of takes that are right and wrong, Jose's take on Ronaldo Lopez has just been spectacular. It's hard to believe that any team could have had him for a cup of coffee and he's just delivering. Hard to believe. Last start, 5 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 homer, 7 Ks, 2 walks, and a 3-2 loss at the Mariners. He just keeps pitching well. And Cutter Crawford's been spectacular. 7 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 6 Ks, 2 walks, and a 6-2 win at home over the Giants. Cutter Crawford, 1 home run allowed in 40 and a third, 1.07 whip. Another pitcher who just keeps delivering. Red Sox first righties, 249, 729 OPS. Braves first righties, 255, 730 OPS. The Red Sox bullpen, 3.30 ERA, 1.20 whip. Converted just 8 of 15. Braves bullpen 3.52 ERA, 1.27 whip. Converted just 9 of 14. These bullpens have been very good. The back end has, been vulnerable at times. Let's get into all of this. Let's start with the weather. 84 Fahrenheit, 10.1 miles per hour in, right to left, and in between 10.1 and 6.2 miles per hour. Let's get into the line history here for this one from a total standpoint. I can't stop thinking about how the Astros also, if you're going to get the Astros, you should bet the Jays and you should bet the Angels. So the Jays and the Angels, I'm still sit with and keep thinking about. And if I didn't read that post that you sent me about Barrios, I probably am on the Jays here. The lefts and rights of capping are so tricky. So here we go. From a total standpoint, we're sitting here in the 8.5 minus 103 to the under. This opened up at 9, dropped to 8.5. From a money line standpoint here, we are sitting with the Braves minus 183. They opened up minus 164, 19 cents of movement. 19 cents of movement, a huge move towards the Braves. And then when we get to the cash flow, 79% of tickets, 76% cash on the over. And the line is moved towards the under. Generally, I'd be immediately on the under in this case, but I tend to pause when we're talking about two pitchers with spectacular numbers that everybody's looking at. So everybody's looking at these great numbers and still betting the over. It just feels like a little bit of a different situation. On the money line, 90% of tickets and 85% of cash on the Braves. And I imagine if this was 200, this would be a cash cow spot. Take it away, Jose, Red Sox Braves.
Yeah, I think I kind of have to bet the under. And yes, I can smell the cow manure now on this play, but
it can't though, 'cause it's not at 200, right?
Yeah, I think it has to keep going up here as well. But I think that the Crawford Reynaldo Lopez combo here could have a good start. Opening up at 9 minus 115 eventually. Well, actually, to say open up at minus 110 and about 30-ish minutes later, minus 115, now minus 125, and it gets down to the 8.5 here. So I do think this is going to be an under kind of game, and I'm going to bet the under here. Again, 79% of the bet, 76% of the money on the over, and we're going down. I mean, we'll just keep making those bets and feel comfortable about it. So full game under for me.
That makes sense. It makes perfect sense. It's just that these numbers are so strong. So I guess it would be the same sort of information that we're getting from Barrios that would get anybody on the over. It'd be Let's hear what Peter has to say. Red Sox Braves, take it away.
Well, my numbers like or love Crawford over 4.5 strikeouts, but there's obviously a reason why it's that low. I'm going to try to watch the Sharpie show today to see if he has any insights on this. If not, that's fine. Numbers like Crawford over 4.5 strikeouts, but there's a reason why it's that low and a reason why it hasn't moved. I might chuck it on anyway. And Lopez, I think that he has also gotten a bit lucky overall. I have him circled in that category. Crawford as well, a bit lucky as well, but I still think he's more likely not to get his strikeouts here. Very, very, Atlanta, of course, returning home from the West Coast where they lost a bunch of those games. Atlanta, I think, in their home games going forward for the next month are probably going to be good bets, team total overs, and even on their money lines, even if they're big or spreads, 1s or 1.5s. I want to take a shot with Crawford over strikeouts, and I like Lopez over strikeouts as well.
Was that leaning you towards the under in this?
No, not necessarily, because I don't. My numbers don't necessarily like the under. Oh, but yeah, a little bit, a very teeny bit, but nothing that I would act on. But I do like both of the over strikeout props, and can't give you an explanation for why it's low and hasn't moved.
All right, well, let's roll on. Jose is on the under 8.5 in this one, and this went against me the last time this happened. The last time this happened, we had pitchers with very, very very nice numbers, and the line moved from 9 to 8.5, similar to this. The money, 80 to 90% was on the over, and I was like, "Who's betting the over here?" It didn't, and that kept me off it, and it did go under. So maybe this will be the final time I do this, Jose. So I'm not going to be on the under with you, even though the market is telling us that that's the spot, because I don't, looking at how strong these pitchers have been. I mean, that 3-2 loss at the Mariners for Ronaldo Lopez was a little bit worse.
I also think that the betting public sees Reynaldo Lopez and Cutter Crawford and sees how low their numbers are, and they're like, "Oh, these fuckers are going to regress." The Braves' offense is incredible,
and that's what Joe Yurkovich is saying right now. So,
okay, cool. So yeah, I kind of feel it that way as well. So I'll take the under. We'll see. But this is not the play that I want you to ride with me on. So we're good here. I'm excited for this.
Let's move on. 7:40 p.m. Eastern. Milwaukee Brewers 20-14, 13-7 on the road. The Kansas City Royals 21-15, 14-7 at home. Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. Look, we were set up for a really big day on Friday, and then the Braves losing in extra innings hurt. The Mariners losing after taking the lead hurt. And the Rangers, remember, we were on the right, so we lost those 3, and that gave us pretty much a middling day when we were set up for a big day. And the Royals looked very good. And here, if Colin Ray had a nice bounce back start, but that was at home, and not that Colin Ray's a juggernaut that in Milwaukee or anything like that, and but. To me, these are two pitchers with really nice numbers, and Seth Lugo looks like the real deal. Whereas I don't know if Colin Ray is, and I don't know if we trust Colin Ray on the road. So let's go into the line history here for this one. Now, we talk about regression. Look, Seth Lugo's numbers are spectacular. When's the regression going to happen there? This total is sitting at 9, and it's juiced to the over at -118. So there's been 24 cents of movement towards this over, and it's gone up to 9.5. Oh, wait. Shoot. Sorry, I've done this wrong. My bad. My bad. Sorry, this opened up under. Yeah, sorry. Man, I'm tripping. The over 9 opened up at +105. The over 9 is now -119. 24-cent move towards the over. Sorry, that 9.5 got in my head. So this has gone from 9 down to 8.5, and then up to 9, up to 9.5, and then back to 9. Very interesting. Still 24 cents of movement towards the over. Let's get into the money line here for this one. From a money line standpoint, we have this sitting right now with the Royals at -120. They open up at -120, actually -122. They open up -123, so there's been no movement towards the Kansas City Royals. When we get to the cash flow for this one, 78% of tickets and 96% of the cash is on the Kansas City Royals. So we know what that means. That means back the Brewers. And that's a tough thing for me to do. Lugo just keeps delivering, but we have 48% of tickets, 57% cash on the over. Take it away for us here, Jose Bouquett. Take it away, Brewers, Royals.
Yeah, I kind of feel like I have to be on the Brewers as well. I think that, or I guess I tend to find that these spots work better with totals than, especially unders, obviously, than money lines and overs. But I still think we should just keep riding these spots. Now, the market movement in this one isn't like as dramatic for me, at least, Jimmy. This opened up at minus 124, got up to minus 130 eventually, and then dropped down to minus 120, up 23 now. Same thing with Bovada now, opening up at minus 131 and is now minus 128. But it's interesting. It's definitely interesting that it's even considering going in the opposite direction with 78% of the bets and 96% of the money on the Royals. So I haven't moved on it yet, but it's definitely Brewers are pass for me in this game. These teams are very similar in my head too. So
yeah, that was a great bounce back start by Colin Ray. What do you think about this spot, Pete? Take it away, Brewers, Royals.
Well, I will say that I was liking the under for Lugo strikeouts of 5.5 despite the big line, and now I am seeing that it's Pinnacle seems to be all the way down. A big move for the under on that one. So I think I'll take a few of the books that Heritage still has 167. I'm seeing, and Caesars has 166. So I will take that one. I'll take Lugo under 5.5 strikeouts. Minus 166 at Caesars. Again, Pinnacle is all the way down at like minus 211 or whatever. Not that it's a positive EV play against a no vig line at Pinnacle, but that's a good sign. So I'll take it. Lugo under 5.5 strikeouts, minus 166. Current line at Caesars. Sharper books have already moved. And as far as the line is concerned, I was leaning slightly into the over, despite the fact that big slump on offense or a mini slump on offense for Milwaukee right now. I do like Lugo. I just don't necessarily think this is a good spot for him to get a whole bunch of strikeouts. And Ray is decent, but overall, but his peripheral's not great. So leaning over, I'll make the Lugo under 5.5 strikeouts official, minus 166. Caesars, leaning over.
I think that you have to take the Brewers here. I think, if you say the bullpen's a wash, the market's saying Colin Ray is going to have a good start. Lugo has been delivering consistently. So where's the advantage? And it's with the sticks. We know that the Brewers are smashing righties. The Royals are hitting poorly. So that's got to be. Now, the question, so if I'm going to be on the Brewers and the Astros, which I'm comfortable with, two road teams and not the perfect spots. I don't know how I stay off the Angels and the Jays, and I'll deal with the Angels and Jays after the show, but I will be moving on the Milwaukee Brewers here. I think the market is very telling. Now, fading the Royals at home is not being good to me, but I'm comfortable here. Loshak on Lugo under 5.5 Ks, juiced up to minus 166. But that's a better line than in other spots, and I will be on the Milwaukee Brewers. All right, let's roll on. 7:40 p.m. Eastern. San Diego Padres 19-19, 11-7 on the road. At the Chicago Cubs 21-15, 12-5 at home. We're at Wrigley Field in Chicago, Illinois. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. And this is an interesting spot here with Randy Vasquez. He's coming off getting lit up in the thin air of Colorado. I could see him having obviously easy to say a much better start, but he could have a good start. The Cubs don't hit righties at all. 228, 683 OPS at all. Let's take a look at the weather here in this one. We have 64 Fahrenheit, 7 miles per hour out to left field, between 7 and 5.3 miles per hour. We get into the line history, and Troy Torrance saying Cubs first 5 every game. Line history wise, the Cubbies are sitting at minus 161. They open up minus 145. Big move towards them. Big move. 16 cents of movement. We get to the total here in this one. We have this right now sitting at 9. It opened up at 8.5. It lasted there. It opened at 8:03 a.m. at 8.5, and it lasted there for 27 minutes before it went to 9. So it's a big move towards 9. And then when we get into the cash flow for this spot, we have 86% tickets, 85% of cash on the over. Market moving in that direction. 74% tickets, 88% cash on the Cubs. Market moving in that direction. Maybe this is really simple. We have Shota Imanaga as being spectacular. 7 innings, no earned runs allowed, 1-0 win at the Mets. Padres don't hit lefties, Cubs don't hit righties, and it's going to the over. Is it because the bullpens are so weak? That's tricky. Jose, take it away. Padres, Cubs.
Yeah, no action here. The market was confusing. It did make me feel like this might be the game that Shota does get touched up. But I'll just mention this. Imanaga has a chance to do something really special here. If he wins, and his ERA is under a 1 right now. I don't have it in front of me, but it's under 1.
Yeah, 0.78.
So yeah, that's ridiculous. But these are the pitchers to start a season with 6+ wins and under a 1 ERA. Frank Viola, Roger Clemens, Randy Johnson, Cliff Lee, Zach Greinke, and my personal GOAT, Ubaldo Jimenez. Those are the only people to do that in MLB history. That is ridiculous. Shota Imanaga is a very good pitcher. That being said, I do not think he joins that club today, and I think he gets touched up here based off the market. It's concerning. I'm just going to stay off and watch this game. I'm going to be watching. Very interested because I like watching him pitch. I think he's very good. But it's just very interesting that 86 and 85% of the money are on the over, and it did go up a half run. So I stay off, but I was, in fact, interested in an under in this game before looking at the markets. And I could be convinced if you took a first 5 under and say this full game goes over, but I don't want to play God, as we say. So no action here.
Would you say the market is saying that Vasquez is going to get touched?
So yeah, somebody here. It's for sure, because obviously the money line markets, and I'm just going over this, but 74% of the bets, 88% of the money on the Cubs, and we've seen nothing but shot up action to the Cubs, opening up at -143. We're seeing -160s, -152s, or sorry, 162, -172 on Bovada. So I expect somebody getting touched up here. If I had to make a bet, it'd probably be Randy Vasquez. But I just have nothing here to contribute. So I'll be watching to see if hopefully Shota keeps his 1 ERA and gets the win here. So it'd be fun.
Noli saying that people just follow the wind, but 7 miles per hour at first pitch out to the left, field pole, and dies down to 5.3. Is that enough?
I thought Noli was not being literal there and just saying people follow the wind as a metaphor. But shout out to you, Noli.
That would be a beautiful metaphor, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I thought I was like, wow, Noli's deep today, and then I realized we have apparently. By the way, Noli has 11.7 at game time for the wind.
What site do you have? Because it's weird for Swish to be that far off.
Using Ballpark Pal. Even though they have
I just refreshed it and it went up to 8.7. So 8.7 at first pitch with the refresh.
Troy, step outside and let us know if it's windy.
Take it away for us here, Pistol Pete Loshak, Padres Cubs.
Yeah, on the opening line, I was like, Cubs is the obvious play. Imanaga, until he has a bad start, I'm willing to bet repeatedly on this. I've been tailing him every start. Don't see why I wouldn't here. Vasquez could be good, but what are the chances if Vasquez outpitches Imanaga? What are the chances that Vasquez comes in as good and Imanaga suddenly has his first bad start? My numbers say they're low. I don't want to get suckered into a Cubs first 5 play, but my numbers like him.
Huh.
And that line has jumped up to -170 or so. Yeah.
Nah, you'd take that still. We know you take that. That's all you, Pete.
Yeah, I'll come. I know what you look like, Jose Bouquett. Don't forget that.
Yes, you do. You know where I live as well.
I could find out fairly easily. I don't at this exact moment, no, but I could find out.
And we have Josh Lauer saying, with all due respect, I like the show, but market moves on bet and money percentage is an indicator of nothing. Case in point, last night, everyone all over Florida and the Bruins win. The Florida Panthers line went from minus 173 to minus 159, a 14-cent move towards the Boston Bruins. Josh, so if you want to try and find the point that backs up what you're saying here, you're going to have to find something else, because that was clearly the perfect spot to back market analysis. I mean, absolutely perfect. I mean, that was to a T perfect. The Panthers had 80% of the tickets and 78% of the cash, and the market moved to the Boston Bruins.
That's one of those times where the market in hockey actually matters,
which is something we don't talk about. But that was the perfect example of using the market to get paid. All of the tickets on the Panthers, the market moves towards the Bruins. The Bruins win 5-1.
You could tell me it matters less in some sports, Josh. I mean, you could tell me it matters less.
But I mean, look at Jose's record right now. I mean, like, yes, and Noli says to each his own. Absolutely, there's complete autonomy in how you cap. But if you're going to use an example for your point, try and find one that supports it. All right, let's move on. 7:40 p.m. Eastern. Seattle Mariners 19-16, 8-8 on the road at the Minnesota Twins 20-14, 9-7 at home. We're at Target Field in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Let's get into the weather here in Minnesota. We have rain at first pitch. It's supposed to stop raining, but rain at 7 p.m. 61 Fahrenheit, 13 miles per hour out to left field. Starts at 13, dies down to 7. Let's get into the line history here for this one. We have the total opening up at 8 and now at 8.5, minus 107 to the over. We have a half run move to the over. Let's get into got the wrong one up. Let's get into the money line for this one. We have the Twins at minus 143. They open up minus 137, 6 cents of movement towards them. And when we get into the cash flow for it, I'm going to move back to MLB here. When we go back to the cash flow for this Twinkie spot, we have 85% of the tickets and 95% of the cash on the Minnesota Twins. A ton of money on them. On the total here, we are sitting with 65% of tickets, 67% of cash on the under. So we have Emerson Hancock going up against Bailey Ober. Over 3-1, 4.55 ERA, 1.04 WHIP, 28 Ks and 7 walks in 31 2/3. Last start, 6 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, 1 homer, 3 Ks, no walks, and a 10-5 win at the White Sox. Hancock went through 3 2/3. I mean, it's a difficult start to really quantify. He allowed 5 runs, just 1 was earned. He got in walk trouble. He still only lost 5-2 at home versus the Braves. I mean, it's not that bad of a start, even though a lot went wrong for him. I'm very high on Emerson Hancock, and I know that others aren't. Mariners versus righties, 218, 655 OPS. Twins, 221, 691 OPS. Mariners bullpen, 2.60 ERA, 1.07 WHIP. Converted 8 of 10 save opportunities. This is an elite bullpen. Twins bullpen, very good too. 3.07 ERA, 1.15 WHIP. Converted 12 of 17 save opportunities. Take it away for us here, Jose. Mariners, Twinkies.
Yeah, interesting game. And by the way, Robert, it is Hancock, but I do purposely put it as Handcock on this graphic. So that is factual statements.
And does that get big laughs when you do add the D? Do we get?
It does. It makes me laugh. It makes me laugh. You know.
Does Helga support it as well? Does Helga support D?
Helga never gets the D. We all know that.
Oh.
There we go. There we go. It was a good one. That was a good one. Shots to, by the way, speaking of D's, Taint play of the day. Seattle money line. Wow. Game. Shots to Taint. There we go. And thank you, Rocco Rogers, because it made him laugh. So shout out to Rocco Rogers. See, I just needed one further person to laugh, and I got it. Bang. Yeah, no action here, though. I think these two teams are very interesting, very similar in a lot of respects. Good pitching teams, shitty offenses. 85% of the bets and 80 and 95% of the money on the Twins, I think, is a little excessive, and I'd much rather, market notwithstanding, I'd rather take the Mariners here in a plus dog spot, but opening up at minus 137 up to minus 150. Now it seems like the Twins might be the spot, but stay off. Total wise, with two really good pitching teams, you probably expect an under in this game. 65% of the bets, 67% of the money on the under. And I haven't seen much of a movement. If anything, I have a move up to an 8.5. So no action, but I'll be interested in watching this game.
Interesting. We have 85% of the tickets, 95% of the cash on the Twins. Do you feel like it's moved far enough in their direction?
I had this opening up at 37, and now I have it at minus 150 at Bovada, but they opened it up at 44. So not really. It's not enough for me to feel good enough about betting the Twins, but it's definitely not enough betting the Mariners as well.
Pistol Pete, what do you think here at Mariners Twinkies?
I was leaning Minnesota even at the line. I'm expecting a good start from Ober, but if the taint play of the day is Seattle, I'm definitely not going to go against that. Leaning Minnesota, leaning under, but it'll be a pass for me.
Huh. Well, I'm going to look at Seattle a little bit more. I feel like there's enough for us here. I'm high on Hancock. I feel like that last start doesn't really indicate how he threw and how he's been throwing.
No.
So
he's cut from the same cloth as Quinn Priester.
All right. Well, let's next up, 7:45 p.m. Eastern, New York Mets 17-18, 8-8 on the road. St. Louis Cardinals 15, 26-10 at home. We're at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri. Take a look at and shout out to Matty Ice as well. Our guy, Matty Ice, delivering taint. We have an interesting spot here. Michaelis versus Butto. Let's take a look at the line history. This total sitting at 8.5, minus 115 to the over. Opened up at 8. Half move towards the over. Then we have the money line in this spot. Money line with the Cardinals at minus 120. They open up at minus 120, now minus 122. So 2 cents of movement to the St. Louis Cardinals. When we get into the cash flow here, we have it's a coin flippy situation. 41% of the tickets, 51% of cash on the Mets. This line's not moving. 79% of tickets, 81% cash on the over. Butto coming off a great start. 1-0 loss at home versus the Cubs. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 6 Ks, 2 walks. 2.57 ERA, 1.07 whip. He's been excellent. Miles Michaelis coming off 4-1 loss at the Tigers. 5.68 ERA, 1.39 whip. He's a very difficult pitcher to trust, but neither of these teams are hitting righties at all. Mets versus righties, 236, 682 OPS. Cards, 226, 642 OPS. And the Mets bullpen's been excellent. 2.84 ERA, 1.17 whip, converted 9 of 14, while the Cards bullpen, 3.76 ERA, 1.20 whip, converted 12 of 15 save opportunities. And to the weather, from a weather spot, we have 77 Fahrenheit, 11.7 miles per hour, right to straightaway center, dies down to 7.4. Take it away for us here, Jose. Mets Cardinals.
No action. Matty Ice asking if I solely based off a cap off market. I would say it's about 85 to 90% of my cap. Truly. Again, I've said this a couple times, and it's from Troy Torrance, and I've kind of stolen it from him at this point, but I just don't believe that I know more than the markets, than these supercomputers, than these fucking assholes making these lines. And if I just trust them, it's seemingly it's working so far. Now, Troy and Mike were talking about in the chat about the markets kind of changing in the midsummer, and Troy even said that there's a big difference in July apparently, or there's a big line in the sand in July, and we can talk about that when we get there. But yeah, I would say about 85%, 90% market for me, Matty Ice. For this game, I've had a negative opinion about Butto probably the whole year. Maybe it's just him being another Venezuelan Jose. He's kind of on my block. I don't know, 51% of the money and only 41% of the tickets on him here. Not much movement. I just think kind of the Mets are the better team, so I lean their way, but it's not anything I can go off of confidently here. And I definitely leaned under here, but 79% of the bets and 81% of the money on the over, and we've seen an 8 juice to the under minus 120 there, go to an 8 juice 8.5, excuse me, juice to minus 120 there. So I stay off.
Peter Loshak, your thoughts here for the Buto Michaelis start?
Well, I did take the Buto over strikeout prop when it was 4.5 at plus money. It's since moved to about minus 115 or so. I think I will give that one again. Let me see. I mean, give it anyway, even after the move. Buto does have potential problems with walks, which, is more likely to happen on the road, as happened against the Dodgers. Even that one, he did get his strikeouts, but someone with walk problems, I don't like to bet their strikeout props over on the road, but it's a very low total, and my numbers like it. I mean, a very low number, and my numbers like it a lot. So maybe I will give it again and give it anyway, and lean to the over as well. Not sure if I want to pull the trigger on that though.
Yeah, this one is I don't feel comfortable, but Buto over 4.5 Ks minus 115 official.
Oh gosh. Okay, sure. That's a pinnacle line. Yeah, I'll take it. Over 115.
Pete has apprehensions of trust in Venezuelans. Specifically
110 minus 110
Jose.
at Bet online minus 110.
Minus 110.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah, again, Pete doesn't like Venezuelans, especially Venezuelan Jose's, so it's a little, trust issues. I get it, Pete. I get it.
My numbers like it, but the spot is terrible. A guy with control issues. He's mostly been pitching at home, now going on the road, but I'll take it, I guess. Yeah.
And Pete's guts also saying, like, do I really trust this Venezuelan kid? Do I really trust him?
I trust Venezuelans. Not
How many
racist
you
in
know?
2024.
You know one, and I don't know if you trust me. Pete. I don't know if you trust me. But shout out to Matty Ice. Hey, Matty, I'm not offended at all if you're asking these questions. Don't be worried about that. But I typically, the way I cap is I kind of do that, Matty. I write out all my pitchers and shit, but I look at the market as the last thing as I'm looking at before, going into the game. I obviously write down my pitcher, like, what did they do their last 2 games? And for fucking whatever reason, I still write it out by hand for some fucking donkey ass reason. But I do that. And then after that, I during the shows, I'll look at the markets and I'll look at the markets before the show, right before the show, to see the difference. Now, again, I did this actually with the Yankees game, Yankees Astros, I guess today. I went into the game thinking I'm going to bet the Yankees. I've bet Luis Gil all year and it's been successful. And then I look at the market and I'm going to be on the Astros. So that's something that's happened. Now, on the other side of that, Matty Ice, on the market fucking me, I remember clearly Jimmy and I have talked about how I know the Red Sox suck against lefties this year. They're fucking horrific. And I bet the over in the Giants Red Sox game the other day, and it was a clear under spot. So it just gives and takes.
It's a perfect entry into this next game because it was Kyle Harrison on the hill for that one.
Yeah,
3-1 win at the Red Sox. Harrison has that ability, that excellent pitch. Now he's not a star pitcher, excellent pitcher yet. We know he was the highest rated pitching prospect when he came into the league last year, but Harris has this ability to get the double play ball, to get what he's looking for, to get what he needs to get out of an inning. He's got that ability here, but now he's in Coors Field.
He throws so many fastballs too. I was shocked by that. So many fastballs here as well.
Yeah, it's funny because he is talking all the time about how he's going to use his changeup more and more and more. He wants to use his changeup more, and then I guess he's just messing with people at that point.
Yeah, he doesn't give a fuck. I think he throws literally the highest percentage of fastballs in the league, maybe, and if not in the league, specifically for lefties. I know that for certain. So shout out to I was going to say Quinn Priester, but shout out to Kyle Harrison.
And another thing about the market, we remember 2 years ago, it's like my first really strong baseball season in front of everybody. And what I would do is if it correlated everything the X's and O's with the market, I would move on it. And if it didn't, I would let it go. If TJ tracked those spots, I would let go. And I would have hit 67% if I had have flipped.
And of course, shout out to the waffle as well. I mean, that's another example of it.
But then I had a bad year last year. So look, we are works in progress here and trying to figure out what works for all of us. And again, the autonomy we have in capping. I mean, do what's working for you here.
Yeah. And always ask questions.
Yes, Peter.
Sorry, I'm also going to add on the Mets St. Louis game, running first inning. Yes. And it's minus 102 at Pinnacle. I'm going to shop around, see if I can get something better. But running first, yes, minus 102.
Loshak, your fee. All right, here we go. Mets, Cardinals, Busch Stadium. Oh, sorry, we just Giants, Rockies. Let's get into the weather here. Nordy in the house. Great to see you, my guy. Hope all is well your way, Nordy. Love seeing you in the chat. All right, let's get into the weather here in Colorado. 51 Fahrenheit, 15.5 miles per hour left to right across the diamond, and then it's slightly in. Very slightly in at that point. Then we have, and there's Chang Kim in the house. What up, Chang? Then we have Dakota Hudson going up against Kyle Harrison right now.
Tori, I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. It is. Yeah, I do need that reminder as well to keep things cleaner. There will be times when kids will be watching and we want, but let's roll on. Kyle Harrison, 2-1, 3.79 ERA, 1.29 whip, 38 Ks and 38 innings, 5 homers. I've been waiting for the signs from Kyle Harrison that he's going to start being elite. And I feel like we're starting to get them, but we know that the thin air in Colorado can be that great equalizer. Dakota Hudson, 0-5, 5.93 ERA, 1.68 whip. And don't forget, in that 3-1 win at the Red Sox, he walked 5 batters. I mean, there were ducks on the pond throughout.
Yes, he escaped many situations.
Joe, you're saying positive regression for the Rockies and Hudson. Hudson coming off a nice start in the 4-1 loss at the Marlins. The Giants don't hit righties, 233, 666 OPS. The Rockies aren't hitting lefties, 251, 696 OPS. Both bullpens have been bad. Giants bullpen 5.04 ERA, 1.37 whip, converted 6 of 9. And then we have Rockies bullpen 5.15 ERA, 1.58 whip, converted 4 of 7. So that's the situation here. Let's take a look at the line history and the cash flow. We have the Giants at minus 155. They opened up minus 149. They got up to minus 161. So there was a real move towards them. Now we have 6 cents of movement. When we get to the total in this one here, we have it sitting at 10. So it's a huge, no, I guess it's just 10.5, but I believe, and Jose can touch on it, I believe that line opened it at 11, now minus 120 to the under. This opened up 10.5, has dropped a half run to 10. And then when we get to the cash flow here, we have the cash flow. We have 82% of tickets, 98% cash on the Giants. I don't think there's been a big enough move towards them. On the total, it's a coin flip, but moving to the under, 46% tickets, 56% of the cash. Take it away for us here, Jose. Giants, Rockies.
Yeah, I think under for sure in this game. I'm not going to move on it. Coors Field's unders kind of make me nervous. And we talked about Kyle Harrison's fastball and all that stuff. I mean, Coors is the place where high spin fastballs go to die. So no action. I'll be interested to see how it operates for him and the Giants here, but no action for me.
Okay, let's hear your thoughts, Peter. Giants, Rockies.
Yeah, let me find. Lean to Hudson under 3.5 strikeouts, but that's a little bit tight. Won't pull the trigger on it. And then lean to under as well. I actually ran out of time a little bit, so I didn't complete my my cap of this game. But yeah, initial leans are to the under and to Hudson under 3.5 strikeouts.
Well, Pete, don't worry. I got you in this next game. You don't have to cap it. Just follow me here in this next game.
I'm following. I'm an inch. I need to fade Michael somehow. So I'm looking at other games. Oh, and by the way, Billy Friedrich found me Buto over 4.5 strikeouts plus 101 at Bookmaker. So thanks, Billy Friedrich. I'm just finishing up my finalizing my official plays here for baseball, Jim.
What was the Buto over 4.5 minus 104?
Plus 101 at Bookmaker.
All
yeah.
Right.
And Tori Coker, no more cussing for me for this show. I got you, buddy. No more. I apologize. I got you right here. I'm locked in now.
Okay, let's roll into this last game here. Last spot for us is, and look, Justin McKelvey's on Rockies first 5, thinking that Harrison does get touched up here. That's a tricky one. So we had Sharpie tell us that his spot that he is locked in, only bet he has locked in when he came into the show, was Edward Cabrera over 5.5 strikeouts. And he says that he doesn't run K-props against this team very often, but when he does, he cashes, and he is going up against his Dodgers with Edward Cabrera, 6.05 ERA, 1.50 whip. We know the stuff he's got. It's electric. You don't want to use your eye test on Cabrera, or you would back him each week. And I don't mean on the K-prop. I mean back his baseball team. 30 strikeouts, over 19 1/3. He's only allowed 2 home runs over 19 1/3, but he has walked 10 batters in that 19 1/3 and 1.50 whip. His last start, 9 strikeouts in 4 innings in the 5-4 extra inning win at home over the Rockies. Going up against Yoshinobu Yamamoto, 2.91 ERA, 1.09 whip, 42 Ks in 34 innings. His last start was a thing of beauty, 8-0 win at Arizona. Didn't allow a run over 6, 5 Ks and 2 walks. He's been very good. Marlins versus righties, 233, 655 OPS. Dodgers versus righties, 271, 827 OPS. Marlins bullpen, 4.75 ERA, 1.45 whip, converted just 5 of 13. Dodgers bullpen, 3.30 ERA, 1.06 whip, converted 12 of 17. So let's get into the weather to get us started. We have 65 Fahrenheit, 7.1 miles per hour to right field. Dies down to 5.5. Get into the line history here for this one. From a total standpoint, we have it sitting at 7.5, minus 112 to the under. This opened up at 8, dropped to 7.5. Then let's get into the money line for this one. We have the Dodgers sitting at minus 279. They opened up at minus 318. Now they're actually up to 288. So it looks like they'll probably get back to 300 again. But they're sitting right now at minus 288. So there's been a move towards the Marlins. And the final stop on this train is the cash flow. We have 96% of tickets, 94% of the cash on the Dodgers, and 93% of tickets, 93% cash on the over. Take it away for us here, Jose Bouquett, our final game on the board, Marlins, Dodgers.
Everyone, all aboard. Let us jump on the Miami Marlins Express here, ladies and gentlemen. This is the game. Nuke, you were right. I don't know who else said it. This is the game. We're putting lipstick on this ugly motherfucking fish. We're going to fucking put a lipstick on it, like you mentioned. Jimmy, 93, sorry, that's total actually. 96% of the bets and 94% of the money on the Los Angeles Dodgers. Why would anyone want to bet the Miami Marlins here? Why in the world is this line now minus 285 at our friends at BetOnline, down from minus 315? Bovada has this at opening up at 335, now down to 305. Why in the world would anyone want to bet these crappy Marlins? I'm betting these crappy Marlins. Full game money line for me. Easy play. Let's ride again here. Also, minus 300 fade territory here again. Just another bet that I didn't take too much time to think about. Oh, but what if this could happen? I'll gladly just be on the opposite side of this stuff. It's kind of in the same realm as the Rockies and the Yankees bets. However, this is much bigger of an underdog, and this is much worse of a team here. So I'm on the money line here, plus 250, Miami Marlins. They find a way to get it done here today. And I'm on the under. I mean, obviously I'm on the under in this game. 93% of the bets, 93% of the money on the over, and we're just dropping. Was a 7.5, or sorry, it was an 8.5 juice to the under at minus 125. As always, you could tell me that's an 8. I'll believe you. But now we're seeing 7.5s here. So I took both. It aligns with my guy Sharpie. Shout out to Sharpie. He likes Cabrera K's. I think Cabrera pitches well today as well. Under 7.5, minus 105. I will say now 4-2 Miami Marlins victory.
That is a wildly exciting breakdown. What do you think, Pete? What do you think of Jose putting his balls on the table here? Marlins money line and under 7.5.
Sounds good. I'm going to pass on that, but I am going to throw on San Francisco, Colorado under 10.5, minus 120 current line Pinnacle. San Francisco, Colorado under 10.5, minus 120. I'll make that an official play as well.
Sounds good. Go fuck yourself. I'm on this.
10.5 for -120. I cannot join you.
Oh, what the hell?
I can't join you on the Marlins, but the under does have some appeal to me.
Nuke, you were right. Just stabs me in the back there.
I cannot roll with you on this, but I like it. I respect it. You add you make it more appealing here.
Jimmy, you understand what happens now. If the Marlins win this game and you're not on it, you're going to be furious. Furious.
It all depends on the night I have, but yeah, I mean, I don't
Your words, not mine. When my friend bets the worst team on the board, I can't let him do it alone. Pete's obviously not going to join me. I'm over here on the island.
That was true. It was Derby weekend. I was pretty excited. I do find that 7.5 appealing. Pete, did you have any interest in this total at all? Did you?
No, barely looked at the game, Jim.
Okay, all right.
He doesn't give a. He doesn't. He just he heard my action. He's like, oh, good. Those are losers. Chalk it up. Chalk it up.
Kelly McKinnon.
Markel's with me.
Kelly McKinnon says, take his bet. No, you don't. You don't want. You don't want those huge plus lines. You don't want to be taking those because
that's facts. Those are facts.
They can blow up in your face. The under 7.5 is appealing. It is appealing. I'm gonna spend a little bit more time on that. And AOD is on your island.
Yep, Markel, me, Nuke Worker, AOD. We're all on the island together, guys. Let's all have a great night. But make sure you bet the under as well.
Mikey Money says Big Dogs are 0-29 straight up, 7-22 on the run line if their next starter lost his last start versus the opponent. And Josh saying the Marlins have no chance in hell. Says great donation, Jose.
Josh, now you're setting yourself up for disaster, Josh. You know this, Josh. If the Marlins win this game tonight, Josh, I expect to see you in the chat. Because I'll be here if the Dodgers win. Josh, it's only right. It's only right.
Nuke wants to take the steaks down to a slice of pizza. I don't know if we can do that. I don't know if we can do that. All right, let's review all action here. So I have 3 bets that I made before I got here. A's first 3 at -110. I'm not adding to that. I'm going to let each individual capper talk about their action, but for me, it's just the A's first 3 -110, as well as the unders in the Angels Pirates game. But I do feel like the Angels should be bet here. The market telling us that either Priester gets touched or Sandoval shoves. It's strange that the full game total is going from 8.5 to 7.5, but the first 5 stayed at 4.5. I need more time with this, but it does feel like the Angels and Patrick Sandoval should be bet. Then Jose's on the Jays, and Peter on Sanchez over 4.5 Ks at a nice big plus money price. I'm interested in the Jays as well. So those 2 spots I'm going to spend a little bit more time on. Then for me, the next spot is the Astros money line, the Brewers money line. I'm very close to the Mariners. I think I need a little bit more time. And then the under 7.5 and Dodgers Marlins. So, 15 bets on Friday. And then, we dabbled a little bit throughout the weekend, but this is much more comfortable to have, 8 or 9 or under 10. Let's go to Pistol Pete Loshak. Could you review your action?
All right, we'll see how it all goes. I did take Detroit first 5 team total over 1.5 -143. Gallen over 5.5 strikeouts -152. That was at Heritage. Sanchez over 4.5 strikeouts +127. Bet online. Lugo under 5.5 strikeouts -166. Caesars. Buto over 4.5 strikeouts at +101. Bookmaker Billy Friedrich found that for me. Mets Cards running the first yes -102, and San Francisco Colorado under 10.5 -120.
There we go. Jose Bouquet, your action. And by the way, Torrey Coker, Marlins -1. So he has seen your balls and he's raised you bigger balls.
Shout out to Torrey. And I don't think I cussed there, Torrey. So shout out to you and your tremendous bulbous sack there.
Well put.
Thank you. So I'm on Marlins full game under 7.5 -105. The under eight -120 in Los Angeles, Pittsburgh. Blue Jays money line as well with a Blue Jays money line Rays money line parlay there for the cash cow. Shout out to old Troy Torrance there. Astros full game money line. The under 8.5 even money on the Red Sox game, and it's not my bet of the day. But it's funny when you bet like a big dog and then a bunch of people start telling you, you feel like, okay, now this is now like the most important bet of my day. This is what my day is going to revolve around. Miami Marlins full game money line. Let's go fish. BJ again. If they cash, I'll remember these comments and I hope to see you tomorrow. And when they get their ass kicked, allegedly according to you, I'll be here tomorrow so you can point and laugh at me as well.
It is a can't lose situation for you because if they get their ass kicked, of course they did. They're huge dogs, and if they win, you look like
I'm gonna tell everyone to suck my dick. Yeah.
All right.
But I respect anyone that's taking the Dodgers like the Kelly McInnes of the world -2.5 even money or +110, I should say. That's the way to take it if you're gonna take it. But I think it's an under game. I'm very confident in the under in this game. So much so that I can bet the Marlins money line without fear of repercussions on this because I know that under is going to cash and cover my Marlins bet either way. So it's nice.
It sounds like Dick is on the menu on Jose's Island. If anybody is interested in traveling there.
Come on.
That is our MLB breakdown for Tuesday, May 7th. We roll into NBA. We got two big games here. One really fascinating spot that I've got to stay off on, feels like. But we start at 7 p.m. Pistol Pete Loshak, you want to lead us into our Cavaliers Boston Celtics breakdown at TD Garden, Boston, Massachusetts. 2 games left on today's show.
Sure. Obviously, Cleveland beat Orlando 7 games. Boston beat Miami in 5. Boston 4 extra rest days. And, leaning under, it might be super obvious, but, I was just leaning, and I think I'm going to give it Cleveland team total under. I know that Porzingis is out. Jared Allen is out for Cleveland. The total has gotten bet up, so who knows what's actually going to happen here. But you got to think one way or another. Boston clamps down in some way, and Cleveland gets to 100. Maybe they do, but I will bet that they don't.
Wow.
I mean, super obvious, right? Why would you think that? Why does that wow you? It seems pretty obvious, right?
I mean, the situation here, and we'll take it a little further, is just that the cat. I mean, no, I guess we don't expect Jared Allen to be in the lineup for a while. Sounds like he can't do anything with his arms, over his shoulders. So it sounds like he's going to be out for a prolonged period of time. We know that KP is not going to be there either. The spread continues to move towards Boston, opening up -10.5, now at -12. From a total side of things, we are sitting here with it at 211. I guess you're saying that, how many points do the Celtics need to score to win this basketball game? Is that,
yeah.
I mean, so the total opening up at 209, now at 211. Let's get into the cash flow here for this one from a cash flow perspective. We have 52% of tickets, 53% of cash on the Celtics, but the line moving towards them. 91% of tickets, 92% cash on the total. So we can expect this total to continue to move up. Ray Charles says Celtics have too much firepower. This should be an ass whooping. Chosen One says Brown over 2.5 threes. Nasty Nate on the Celtics second quarter, and he's on White assists over. And let's set up the X's and O's a little bit here. So, the Celtics were 37-4 at home during the regular season. The Cavaliers weren't a very good road team and didn't look very good on the road during the playoffs so far against Orlando Magic. The Cleveland Magic series, we talked about it. It's played at a much faster pace than I expected to play at 95.71 possessions a game. Celtics Heat was played at 91.6. The Cleveland Cavaliers just can't hit threes. And shout out to our guy Subhuman Gaucho gifting a Pub Sports Radio membership. Our guy Rem Most getting it. I love it. Thank you, Subhuman Gaucho, my friend. Rick J saying he loves Tatum's rebounds, but could be a blowout game. 28.7 from 3 for Cleveland. Boston, 38.5% from 3. So, can the Cavaliers keep playing their best basketball? Now, we didn't see it until after they were down 18 in Game 7, and when there's not going to be Jared Allen. So the only thing I would think about here is if the Cavs keep playing sharp, effective basketball, would they be live in the first quarter? Other than that, it scares me that the line continues to move over to the Celtics despite it being 50-50 ticket count. And it makes me nervous that it's continuing to move to the over. Is there anything with DC Capper on Boston -12? So I guess right now I would have interest in the Cavs first quarter, just to continue playing sharp basketball right now. And Pete, what did you want to make official for us?
Yeah, Pinnacle line, Cavs, team total under 99.5 -104. It's headed up. The total's going up, but I'll take it.
94.5 at minus
99.5 -104.
99.5 at minus 104. Frank is on Celtics -12 for a dime. Wine Time says Celtics smash. Robert Franklin on Celtics -6.5 first half. JP Taylor, Celtics -21 at plus 250. And BJ's best bet coming in on Oklahoma City money line here. We'll discuss that in a second. I find it fascinating that there's 50% of the tickets on the Cavaliers, and yet not one person in our chat is backing them. Well, I guess the chat expects. In Wine Time, maybe you can answer this question. So you expect Boston to be locked in as soon as the tip-off comes, or do you expect Cavaliers to look terrible on the road as they have been, throughout the series? JP Taylor says because the chat knows better. Brent Cook says we all saw what the Magic did to them. Well, I'm certainly not going to bet the Cavs first quarter after the show, and I just took it badly with the Nuggets yesterday. So I'm a little hesitant. JP Taylor saying Boston will outclass them. Billy Friedrich on the first quarter over 54. BJ says quit overthinking this. This is an ass whooping incoming. Says Celtics or nothing. I just, and I don't know, we need to have comparisons between NHL and NBA, but can we expect the Celtics to be locked in? I mean, that's my only question. It's not that you guys are wrong about the Celtics outclassing the Cavs and beating them, but the Cavs are just locked in right now. And yeah, not having Jared Allen is a big loss, but they've just played 4 games without him. 3 games without him. Joe Yurkovich looking at Cavs first quarter, and JP Taylor saying if Cleveland has a good game, it won't be game 1 in Boston. Okay, so we have Pistol Pete Loshak on the Cavs team total under 99.5 -104. And I am interested in the Cavs first quarter. Wine Time says I'm only betting the full game -12. I think the longer the game goes, the more Boston will put their foot on the Cavs' throats. That's fair. Sancho says Mitchell has to go for 40 for them to even have a shot. Okay. We'll move past that. Right now, I'm leaning towards Cavs first quarter. Pistol Pete, let's set up game 2, Mavericks, Oklahoma City, because at this point, the chat does not believe that being off for a long time will hurt the Boston Celtics. I wonder if they think it will hurt Oklahoma City. BJ certainly doesn't with Oklahoma City money line. I want to bet Oklahoma City so badly, but unfortunately, I'm unable to. Let me just switch the heading over to the next game on the board. Pete, take it away. Give us a setup.
Again, you can talk about, teams being off for a long time coming in with rust. That might be the case, but OKC is just such a young team. You know what I mean? And they, maybe that means they're more vulnerable to it. I don't really know, but they're such a young team. Dallas also, banged up, right? So that guy, Kleber, who's, that's a pretty big loss. Luka, I know, is he'll probably be okay, even though he's banged up. Probably will be okay. I think OKC has a coaching edge as well. So I do want to take OKC here. I do want to take Dallas first half team total under and full game team total under. and lean under as well. But this game also has gotten bet up. I understand what you're saying about, I was waiting and watching. Okay, see, a book I had a promotion where I had to bet a NBA futures bet to win the championship, and OKC was who I took. So I'm going to hedge out at some point. I didn't hedge out with the New Orleans series, and this one I'm not going to hedge out either, just because Dallas a little bit banged up, and so I think that OKC does have a big edge. I kind of do want to take them minus the points. And I think I will chuck on maybe the Dallas team total under or the first half team total under or both. But again, just like the other game, don't really love that the line has moved up and don't quite understand it. But
I'll tell you my thought process.
Yeah.
And BJ saying,
oh, shit. I'm sorry. Just polo this, polo that. Dallas to win series plus 106 large.
Yeah.
Why? And what do you think of that, Jim?
Well, I'd like to dive into this game. I really, obviously, we have Celtics a huge favorite over the Cavs.
Sorry. And Josh Lower 34 says Dallas Mavs take game one easy. Wow. Why? And what do you think, Jim?
Well, this is what I think. I can't get game one of the Pelicans Thunder out of my head because it's the exact same situation that we're in this week. Exact same situation. And it was by far their worst game. They'd been off for a week. They just seemed rusty. That's my problem right now. And we'll dive into that a little more. Let's just set it up from a line history standpoint. This total is sitting at 218.5, juice to the under. Open up at 214.5 with 4 points of movement at Pinnacle. Huge move to the over. Then we have Oklahoma City at -3.5 and -110. This has not moved. This has not moved since early this morning. And I was surprised at the 3.5 when it was available. So, and Alfred saying the Pels defense outplayed them in game one. Chosen one on Mavs plus 3.5. Says Thunder was celebrating like they won the chip after round one. Sancho on Mavs money line. Nasty on Mavs second quarter. And Troy Torrance saying he wants the Mavs. So let me put it straight to that. I really want Oklahoma City Thunder. I would like to bet them often in this series. I think that what's going on, with Luka and with Luka's bulky knee is real. And it will be tougher for him as this series goes on and as the playoffs go on. But let's just set it up simply from start to finish. Dallas in that, impressive series played 92 possessions a game, 46.5 from the field, 33.5 from three. Luka, held them back from three in those numbers. So the rest of the team was shooting quite well. Oklahoma City, 95.88 possessions a game in the win over the Pelicanos, 48.2 from the field and 38.7 from three. They looked excellent. But they've been off since April 29th. And I just feel like I've been in this situation too often. And so for me here in this situation, obviously I have this bias from watching the Bruins yesterday, and I'm not going to bet the Mavericks, but I'm going to let it take me off of OKC at this point because we just watched this similar thing happen and they just weren't locked in, and then they dominated the series. So the Mavs, I believe, have had the perfect amount of time off. Now they finished the Clippers on Friday. Now you could say, no, they needed a week and a half because of Luka's knee. And that's right. You're right. Yes. But from a team coming off a playoff series, 3 days off is great. You're still locked in. You're still ready to rock. You're still playing with that edge. You're still on that level. And, Shea did not look great in that first series. Now we have all the excuses for Shea. He just had his son born, Aries. And, 27.3 from the field, 5 assists. He shot 47.6 from the floor, 29.4 from three. We can give him the excuse, with the son being born, because those numbers are all below his regular season numbers. Luka went for 29.8, 9.5 assists, 8.8 rebounds. He shot 40.5 from the floor and just 23.9% from three. So it gives you an idea how good everybody else was shooting from three. Remember, Luka was 38.2 from three during the regular season. Luka has said, quote, unquote, I don't think it's going to get better before I get some rest. That's a lot of minutes, maybe this summer. Who is Luka going to have on him? Lou Dort. Now, obviously, he's beloved up here in Canada, coming out of Montreal. And this is going to be fascinating to see if Lou can slow down Luka. Hardaway missed the last 4 games with the ankle sprain. He is supposedly good to go, but Maxi Kleber won't be. Suffered the dislocated AC joint in his right shoulder in that series, clinching Game 6 win over the Clippers. And, of course, Kidd got the multi-year contract as soon as Ham got fired. All explainable. Ricky Bobby says he likes the under. At what point do you feel like that total has moved too much to the over? And Cover King's giving us Cleveland 13-1 against Reds since December 21 on the road when the total's no more than 210. And Wine Time's going to bet the money line. And Frank saying he's agreeing with the Dapper Caprijo and Marinaccio that the Mavs smell fraudulent. See, I don't think the Mavs are fraudulent. And honestly, from a betting standpoint, I kind of would like the Mavericks to win Game 1. I think it would set us up really nicely. You could take the Thunder in Game 2. I'm sure they'll be a bigger favorite than 3.5 because they'll have the game under their belt. You could take the Thunder to win the series then at big plus money. BJ says Dallas loses tonight. Says they're dogs for a reason. The Mavs spot is a favorite on the road, not as the Mavs spot. Is as a favorite on the road. It's not dogs. Look, I get it. I completely get it. I don't want to fade Oklahoma City, and I don't want to back them after a full week off. It's simple to me. Does that mean I want the Mavericks early? I guess it does. I guess that's what it means. Pete, it means I want the Dallas Mavericks first quarter. After what I've said here, I would like to pull up exactly what happened in that first game. I know, was it what 94, 92, or 92, something in that first game against the Pelicans. I want to see how they did in the first quarter. JPT says Thunder live bet is the way. King Alon, Oklahoma City. And Billy Friedrich says teams averaged over 242 points a game in 4 regular season matchups. Yes, it's playoffs, but can't see this staying under. So what do you think, Pistol Pete, after hearing from the chat and hearing my thoughts?
I'm gonna stay off. That is a murderer's row of people leaning, liking, or loving the Mavs in all different ways. Damn.
God, I think it's the Mavs early. I think it's got to be the Mavs early. I mean, the 94-92 win over the Pelicans, and obviously you could say you're putting way too much into that game. It was 17-17 in the first quarter. At halftime, it was 43-43. They just weren't locked in. Why would this be any different?
No, you're right.
And maybe it is different. Maybe they had that experience. Maybe it is different. Okay, so I'm going to be Mavs first quarter, and I'm going to be on Cavs first quarter. And I don't see why I need to wait betting any of those. I think I can move on them right now. King Al says, I live here in Dallas. Would love for the Mavs to win, but it's Oklahoma City spot. See, I don't know how. Where is the... Now, again, maybe I'm putting too much into what happened in Game 1 after being a week off, but where is there... Can Mikey, can someone go on and find us an angle where being off for a week, you're ready to roll in Game 1? And then Lee Davis saying first quarter under 55.5. What if the Mavs are just ready to fire out? You know what? I'm comfortable with this. Now I'm not doubling up on anything. I'm backing what I believe will help. And it's these teams that have come. Now, remember, this wouldn't have worked if you took the Bruins first period. The Bruins took over in the second half of the game. JP Taylor says Lucas' knee issue is important in capping the series. You would have to think that he's going to be probably at his healthiest in Game 1 of the series, you would think. Coin saying OKC's yet to allow 100 points this postseason. I mean, we're only talking about the Pelicans, without Williamson, Zion. So I'm comfortable. Pete is on the Cavs team total under 99.5. And I'm going to move on the Cavs first quarter. I love Joe Yurkovich saying Cavs first quarter or the race to 20. I bet both of those in a game in the first round. I can't, for whatever reason, I can't grab it, and it didn't work out for me. By the way, Polo this, Polo that. Loving Tim Hardaway 3 or more 3-pointers at plus 480 back from that ankle injury. And I'm going to be on the Mavs first quarter. And BJ says Mavs are a fade tonight, banged up, not healthy. Not having Kleber hurts, but I would say that they're going to be banged up, not healthy in games 4 and 5 and 6, or 3, 4, 5, and 6. So, look, I'm comfortable. I figured it out with you guys. It's being helpful. Pete, are you adding anything to our last spot on the board?
No. That's great. You mind if I jet, Jim?
No, I don't. But could you give one thing? Can you give a review of your NHL action? We just got your NBA and we've got your MLB. We've got both those. Can you just
all right, sure. Lafreniere assist at +250. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with this game, but Lafreniere assist is that's a probably good bet at what? +140, 180? No, 250. +250 bet online. I took it. Then in the other game, a whole bunch of more stuff. Wood over 1.5 shots, -164 bet online. Wyatt Johnston point, actually -149 at Heritage. I'll take that one tiny little extra point. -149 Heritage. Seguin over 2.5 shots on goal, +136 bet online. Stankoven over 1.5 shots on goal, -157 bet online. Mikko Rantanen under 3.5 shots on goal, -167 bet online. And Robertson for Dallas goal at +207.
And Pete, before you go, our man Kong's Clips, who we love dearly, wants friends and family. So Kong's Clips, he wants friends and family.
Okay.
I know. I'll give you 20 more seconds because my friends and family, the Dallas Stars, the Dallas Stars to win Game 1 of this playoff series against the Avalanche, and then we have a decision to make. Do we want a little Avs series in our pocket? I'll have to think about that for a while, but I just think the Stars are ready to go. And look, if let's say the Avalanche roll and the Celtics roll in the first quarter, and the Thunder roll, well, then obviously the Bruins game I just took two, it's messed me up. But I don't think that's the case. So my spot here is the Dallas Stars is my friends and family. I'm writing that down. What's yours, Pete?
This is a parlay, right?
Yep.
All right, so I can't take anyone from that one. So then I guess that they usually they would let you parlay. Will they let you parlay runs in the first?
Your fees? Yeah.
Yeah, they will? Okay, We'll chuck that one on. Mets St. Louis, run in the first. I got -102, might be -110 or something, but we'll take that one. Run in the first, yes, -110 or so.
Your fee for Loshak in New York Mets St. Louis. I'm on the Dallas Stars. Jose, what is your spot?
The under in the Dodgers game, 7.5, -105.
That might make me have to bet that one. Okay. And for Jose, he's on the under in the Dodgers game. Okay, Pete, my man, great work. I will see you again on Tuesday. Please support me on X at Loshak, and please support him so he can buy more $600 blouses.
Yeah, he's going to the fashion show right now. Busy man.
As he should. That is our show for today. Let's review some more action. Billy Friedrich, Pig Milk play of the days. Carolina, New York Rangers under 5.5. I like it. Viper MB gave us the Rays -1.5, the Phillies -1, Minnesota -1. Smooth Balls played today. Cubs team total over 4.5. Joe T is on both first period overs. The Clark Edge max bet is the under 8.5 in Royals Brewers. Philly Eagle Flyer tied after two innings. Nats at +176, Braves at +180, and Royals at +186. Bo Jackson on Blue Jays money line and Barrios over 5.5 Ks. In NHL tonight, I'm only on the Stars. I can't, with what I saw from Freddie Anderson. I need him to play very well so that I can bet the under in Game 3. That's the only thing I can do at this point. And then baseball, Jose, let's review our MLB action. And Satchet said, super late to the party, told you Murray would get torched. You were absolutely right. Does he continue to get torched in Minnesota is the question. AOD saying Pete has to meet with the Prada executives. So in review of MLB, I just want to see if there's anything that would come close to that star spot for me. And by the way, Mikey Money saying that tied after 2 innings, one of my new favorite spots. He says likes the creativity and the uniqueness. Yeah, I love it. And Tori Coker saying let's go Marlins. So for me, A's first 3 -110, that would not compete. I wonder if I get on the Angels here and the Jays, and I think I might. We have Jose with that Rays, Jays parlay, but Astros, I'm going to be betting after the show. Brewers, I'm going to be betting after the show. I expect to bet the Mariners. That's not 100% at this point. It's a little higher than the Jays and the it's the Jays and the Angels, a little higher than that. And then finally, I guess I'm gonna have to jump with Jose on that under 7.5.
Oh, I got excited. I
can't do it, dude. I can't do it.
It's you're going to be very bitter tomorrow, and it's going to make me laugh. I'll admit
it. Troy also moved in the under in the Oakland A's game. Jose, Sweet Tits Bouquet, could you please review all action? Mister, he won't get suspended. He's going to get fined, and he probably is already fined.
Oh, you don't think Jamal's going to get suspended? Interesting.
I don't think anybody does, except for fans. No, nobody's talking about it. That's a fine. It's a finable offense at this point. We've seen, Steph throw his mouth guard or Steph. There's no difference in that. Does anybody else being suspended in that situation? Nobody. So it's just fans who are saying that. The grandma wearing them. Okay. Wearing his panties. Pittsburgh and under.
We shouldn't acknowledge it because he didn't even type it all the way out.
Well, yeah, but he did initially.
Yeah, he did initially. Yes. And Mikey, the grandma wearing your sister's panties again. Play of the day should be the Marlins in the under there. So if you want a big plus money, Mikey, go ahead and take that one as well.
TC Capper on the Celtics -12 and the +3.5 on the Mavs. And there's Jason M. I love this guy. He's rocked with us the whole time. Says, love the shows always, guys. 4 beers down, 4 a.m. Eastern Aussie time. Says, fuck it, who cares? We here to make picks and make cash. Am I right? Look at that. Wednesday morning beers with Jason M. We love
respect.
We love you, Jason M. Shout out to the whole country of Australia. And thank you for being a part of the show, my man. It's a great way to close it up. It's been a
interesting show.
A little intense out there. So, Jose, can you please review your MLB action? And JP Taylor, right? Drinking in the future. Yeah, man. Drinking in the future. Jose, review your MLB action for us.
Yes, I am. Let me pull it up again. Excuse me. Yes, I'm on the Marlins. Dodgers under 7.5. The Marlins money line. That's now my game of the day for some reason. But can't wait. Angels, Pirates under 8 -120. Blue Jays money line +108, and they're also in a Blue Jays Rays parlay as well +190. Shout out to the cash cow play of the day, the cow cat I should call it actually. Astros money line +105. Full game under 8.5. Even money in the Red Sox Braves game, and that's it. I was going to say the Marlins again, but that is it.
There you go. Thank you guys so much for rolling with us. Again, we cap with each other every day. There's going to be times where things incite us or get us upset. We need to find the balance. But it's so important to succeed, and it's stressful, and our lives are on the line, and there's pressure, and so it's tricky, and it's tricky not to emote and not to take things to heart and things like that. But we need to find our way through this as a group and cap together, because it's us against the bookies. Because actually, I won't even get into it, but obviously things were said. I mean, it's tricky here to find the balance and find the kindness and find the humor. And we need to do that. Let's just leave it at that. Thank you guys, all of you in the chat. We got Old E, Iro Dog, Bo Jackson, Justin McKelvey, Lil Domo, JP Taylor, Saturated, Mikey Money. Last call pops off at 6 p.m. today. Last call Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. Love you, Mikey Money. Oh, by the way, Mikey Money also heading down to San Antonio on Thursday. I hope, Jose, you run with our squad, run with our guys, please. Got to get some clips of all you guys hanging out together. I respect that so much. Man, I'd be down in San Antonio all the time if it was easier for me to do so. Jason M, thank you for giving us the levity and positivity from Australia. It's a nice way to close out the show. Mr. Heat, the Nuke Worker, DC Capper, Troy Torrance, Saturated, Joseph Gomez, Johnny K, Tori Coker, Josh Lauer, and Josh. I hope I wasn't. I'm coming off a rough 48 hours, so I'm a little edgy and And,
the Derby was annoying. Oh my God.
To each their own. It's all about succeeding, and you can trust the market or disbelieve the market, however you want to get the bag. The key is to get the bag, and that's why we are honest and transparent with all of our action and with all of the guests you see on the show. Their records are going to be honest, transparent, and so Cody Norton, Chase J, but I apologize if I was a little harsh there. Dapper, Capper, Ray, Charles, Polo this, Polo that, Lee Davis, Kelly McKinnis, Ricky J. Thank you guys. Thank you all. Billy Friedrich, Cover Kings, Wine Time, Frank Ritaco. Thank you guys. Truly thank you. Brent Cook. Jose Bouquett, any last words here for the Cappers supporting the show, my man? Leroy Flood. All you guys, any last words?
No, we appreciate you guys watching. Even when things get heated, we appreciate you guys still sticking around watching. We are one big happy family, even though we can motherfuck sometimes. And
families are like that, right? Families fight. Families fight.
It happens. So shout out to all you guys, Justin, my guy Gagnon, wherever he is. I'm sure he'll be watching Quinn Priester very closely today. Mike, Nuke Worker, Billy, DC, shout out to Swiggy. As always, thank you for the work on the website and on the NHL pool there as well. Shout out to you guys. Appreciate you guys. Mike, see you later tonight for last call. That'll be fun. As always, watch him there. And as always, it's going to be a great time. We'll see you guys tomorrow here as well. It's going to be great. Till then, go fucking Marlins. Let's get these motherfuckers. And fuck the Dodgers today. Fuck you, Yamamoto. Leche, Ilos Bookmaker.